Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday that over 7,000 officers are outfitted with the devices more than a year ahead of schedule. Chicago has now the largest deployment of body cameras in the nation. Bond denied for a Chicago man accused of sexually assaulting a woman earlier this month in Chicago's Ukrainian Village neighborhood. Ricky Parkman appeared in court yesterday on charges of aggravated criminal sexual assault, kidnapping, and robbery. A man sentenced to over 100 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 63-year-old suburban woman in 1999. 41-year-old Roberto Noyola Espinal was convicted earlier this year of home invasion and aggravated criminal sexual assault thanks to a DNA sample he gave years after the crime. DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin said in February of 1999, Espinal forced his way into the woman's Lyle home and attacked her. Berlin says investigators collected DNA evidence and entered it into a federal database at the time, but there were no matches. Then in 2013, Espinal was arrested in Houston when he tried to re-enter the U.S. illegally from Mexico. Mayor Emanuel on the road this morning. Later today, he'll appear on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It will be the mayor's first visit to The Late Show with Colbert as host. 3 teenagers have been released from the hospital after they were wounded by gunfire following a high school basketball game in central Illinois. Shots were fired outside Champaign Central High School late Friday night. A 15-year-old student from Danville, a 17-year-old from Champaign, and an 18-year-old were hit by the gunfire. Authorities continue investigating this morning as to who fired those shots. Meantime, police in Normal are blaming a domestic situation for a weekend stabbing near the campus at Illinois State University. Police say they have a suspect in custody. Well, this week is your chance to tell the state of Illinois all about your drive to work or your trip across the state. The Illinois Department of Transportation is asking for help in its annual Traveler Opinion Survey. Anyone can comment on everything from road conditions to plow trucks and salt routes, and you can go right now to the IDOT website and weigh in. Rookie Mitchell Trubisky threw for a touchdown, ran for another. His best showing yet. His Bears into 5-game losing skid with a rout of Cincinnati, 33-7. Jordan Howard also helped with 147 yards on the ground and a pair of touchdowns in the Bears' win. Corey Crawford, 31 saves. Artem Anisimov scored late in the third. They gave the Blackhawks a 3-1 win over Arizona. Nick Schmaltz tallied the insurance number, and they host the Panthers tomorrow night. Follow soccer a bit, you'll know that Sam Werner scored in the second OT to give Stanford its third straight NCAA men's soccer title over a very good Indiana club. By the way, Stanford won both the men's and women's NCAA soccer titles this year. Cubs bolstering their bullpen. Hot Stove League reports say the Northsiders have inked a 2-year deal with relief pitcher Brandon Morrow. Bulls try to extend their season-long winning streak to 3 games tonight as they take on the Celtics at the United Center. The news, a service of Let Us Entertain You. Give the gift that fits all appetites, a Let Us Entertain You gift card. Receive a free $25 holiday bonus for every $100 in Lettuce gift cards you buy. Simply visit a Lettuce restaurant or LEYE.com. 5:07 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Winter's almost here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
5:10. Let's get an update on your early morning ride to work or around town in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center this morning for us. Here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. A couple of crashes. There are some flurries, a little precip here and there around the Chicago area. So things may be a little slick. West Chicago, 59 at Joliet Street, there's a crash. One in Mokina, 91st and LaGrange Road. Eisenhower Expressway. That stop-and-go traffic outbound Manheim to Wolf Road, where a crash blocks 2 left lanes. 32 minutes to get from downtown to 390, inbound fine at 29. The outbound ride at 87th, the on-ramp is closed till 6 a.m. And then 4 left lanes are closed from 87th split till 6 this morning. The other expressways and tollways look good at the moment. Traffic, service for Ergodyne Tenacious Work Gear. Feeling that windy city chill? Get worker-approved and preferred Ergodyne warming gear for you and your crew, built for professional-grade performance no matter the weather. Find it today at your nearest Chicagoland Home Depot store. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy, snow early this morning, then a couple of snow showers late in the afternoon. High 40. Snow shower early this evening, otherwise rather cloudy and breezy tonight, low 18. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 27 and a little bit of light snow reported at O'Hare, 28 along the lakefront, 27 at Midway, 23 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we're 24 hours away from that big election in Alabama, and oh boy, over the weekend, Beverly Young Nelson's story took a what I would describe as a mortal blow. Miss Nelson, you'll remember, is the one of the accusers. She accused Roy Moore of soliciting her affection when she was a waitress at a local diner.
Wow.
We don't know what we did.
Okay. Also, she ultimately accused him of making a pass at her in his car after offering to give her a ride home.
And it was graphic because she said she grabbed the back of his head and tried to force it down to his genitals. I mean, it was the worst accuser, I think, to have come forward. And then the bombshell drops.
No, I think the 14-year-old.
No, I don't, because she told him to stop, and he did, and he drove her home.
Who did?
The 14-year-old girl, who he probably didn't even know she was 14 because she looked older, and the age of consent was 16, and she told him to stop. He's like, I don't feel comfortable, and he drove her home.
And that's the same thing that allegedly happened with the woman in the car, Beverly Young Nelson, because then she was taken home by her boyfriend. That's her story.
Yeah, but she had to struggle to get out of the car. Remember? I mean, hers seemed so much more graphic and worse than the first accuser.
Okay. And then so her story tubed this weekend by Beverly Young Nelson, admitting that she altered the yearbook signature that Gloria Allred was waving around at that press conference, saying that yes, she inscribed a note under it, which explains the questions that were being raised right from the outset about two different styles of handwriting, two different notations, and the redundant Roy Moore signature.
Yeah, it was during an interview with Tom Yamansamo from ABC's Good Morning America. And if you watch this interview, Dan, it wasn't the lead. You know, she was talking first about Roy.
It sickens me to wonder what may go on with him if he gets into office, maybe. You know, he could be doing this still.
Oh.
We don't know.
Okay. And then it went on to, you know, in the middle, I don't know. If I was a reporter, I would have led with this.
He was trying to pull me toward
this.
That really hurt me, you know.
Nelson says she did make notes to the inscription, but the message was all Roy Moore.
Beverly, he signed your yearbook.
He did sign it.
And you made some notes underneath.
Yes.
And that's a problem because she came out there with Gloria Allred and said, no, this is all Roy Moore. This is Roy Moore. And I left Gloria Allred, I wrote her an email and left her a message because that is so sloppy on her part. She should have known better. And if they knew before that press conference, why didn't they tell the truth? Because now I don't believe a word of her. I don't believe that she was even in the car with Roy Moore. Now I think this is all just a lie, setup.
Well, she stands by the rest of it. She stands by his signature on her yearbook. She stands by her story. But when you forge a document you're going to wave around as evidence to substantiate your story and then wave that document around and try and leverage it as her esteemed attorney, Gloria Allred, did for a Senate hearing before you'll just allow it to be examined by handwriting analysts, then it sort of undermines the credibility of your entire story. Now, that doesn't undermine the credibility of everybody's story, but it certainly undermines the credibility of her story. And Donald Trump seized on that on Friday night in Pensacola.
So did you see what happened today? You know the yearbook? Did you see that? There was a little mistake made. She started writing things in the yearbook. What are we going to do? Gloria Allred, anytime you see her, you know something's going wrong.
Yeah, that's fairly good summation on the president's part, I suggest. And consistent with that setup, Trump went on to make explicit that Tuesday is an important election for his Make America Great Again agenda.
The future of this country cannot afford to lose a seat in the very, very close United States Senate. We can't afford it, folks. We can't. So get out and vote for Roy Moore.
Not being coy about it anymore.
No.
He is saying get out and vote for Roy Moore if you live in Alabama tomorrow.
And the robocalls started coming out late last night.
Hi, this is President Donald Trump, and I need Alabama to go vote for Roy Moore. It is so important.
And so Beverly Young Nelson's story, frankly, her story falling apart over the weekend, which was one of the two sensational stories against Roy Moore, the two most sensational, I suppose. Yeah. That really provides him a lot of political cover to do it. Yeah. And I don't see how that does anything but accrue to Roy Moore's benefit. I don't see how that does anything other than increase the percentage of likely Republican special election voters from 71% who don't believe the stories of the accusers. That probably goes up from there. And I frankly, at this point, don't see how Roy Moore does not win that election tomorrow. The question, the implications of his victory.
Even though Cory Booker's out there campaigning with Doug Jones and Deval Patrick from Massachusetts.
Yeah, but so yeah.
I mean, they're hitting it hard.
The implications for the Republican Party, though, is there nothing but bad outcomes here. Roy Moore loses, and your margin in the Senate narrows. Roy Moore wins, and he's going to be used as an albatross to hang around the necks of Republicans in 2018. That's what a lot of Republicans are worried about, including the senior senator from Alabama, Richard Shelby, who had this to say over the weekend with Jake Tapper.
Well, I'd rather see the Republican win, but I hope that Republican would be a write-in. I couldn't vote for Roy Moore. I didn't vote for Roy Moore, but I wrote in a distinguished Republican name, and I think a lot of people could do that. Will they do it? I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, as a Republican, I had to vote Republican. I wanted to vote Republican. I understand where the president's coming from. I understand we would like to retain that seat in the U.S. Senate. But I tell you what, there's a time, we call it a tipping point. And I think so many accusations, so many cuts, so many drip, drip, drip. When it got to the 14-year-old story, that was enough for me. I said, I can't vote for Roy Moore. The state of Alabama deserves better. I think we've got a lot of great Republicans that could have won and carried the state beautifully and served in the Senate honorably.
Yeah, it's a fair position to take. He's not alone with respect to Roy Moore, but of course,
he's got robocalls out this morning for Doug Jones.
No, he doesn't.
Shelby?
No, he doesn't.
That's what CBS News was reporting.
Well, CBS News is wrong again. Shelby just told you he's not going to vote for Doug Jones and didn't vote for Doug Jones. He wrote in a Republican. But the idea that he's hoping a write-in candidacy is going to win.
And if you write somebody in, don't you want other people to follow suit? You would tell people who you wrote in.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, too. I mean, it's just silly. It's a sort of a cop-out position he's taking. If you're opposed to Roy Moore, just say it and recognize that it's going to be Roy Moore or Doug Jones, and it's probably going to be Roy Moore.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Later came a year early. Christmas came early for Chicago police officers. Every single officer has a body camera. Will that hurt or help police? But first, here's your forecast today. A bit of snow this morning, followed by some snow showers in the afternoon, a high of 38 degrees. Tonight, some snow, and then tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and a lot colder, a high only of 24 degrees for our high. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and say good Monday morning to Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. And there is a little slipping and sliding going on out there. The Eisenhower outbound has delays. 25th Avenue to Wolf Road, there was a crash. Just cleared out of the two left lanes. We get about a 5-minute delay or so. That should clear up a bit. The inbound side's okay. No problems to report on the Edens or the Kennedy right now. The Stevenson's still good. Inbound Ryan, heavy Roosevelt to downtown, 16 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Outbound, there is road work, 87th to the Split. Prepare to slow down in that area. The other expressways and tollways are good for now. There's a crash in West Chicago at 59 and Joliet Street. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Truck drivers. Weinstein Wholesale Meats is offering an attractive employment package for Class A, CDL Regional, and over-the-road drivers. Based on experience, $1,600 per week, plus $2,500 sign-on bonus and great benefits, including a new 2018 truck to drive. Now you can work for a successful, growing, family-owned Chicago company. Call John for more information at 708-405-5023 or go to WeinsteinMeats.com.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. The end is near. No, not doom and gloom. The end of the year is almost here. What does that mean, Leslie?
New Year's resolutions? The desire to make changes?
Absolutely. So right now is the perfect time to plan ahead. Why wait? Make a resolution now to meet with our team at Wealth Management Group.
Make an appointment today at investwithwmg.com. That's investwithwmg.com. And listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Tasty Catering invites you to come together this holiday season and celebrate with great food and great company.
Since 1989, Tasty Catering has been planning memorable holiday office parties all over Chicagoland and bringing your team together this year in the spirit of the season.
Their delicious holiday menu at TastyCatering.com features all the amazing appetizers and entrees, savory side dishes, and decadent desserts that you'll need for the ideal holiday office party.
From elegant plated dinners to casual company buffets and festive cocktail hours.
Stop by their Elk Grove Village Kitchen and meet their award-winning catering family and sample some of their new and classic holiday menu dishes.
The experienced holiday events team is ready to take you step by step through the planning process, simply and stress-free.
Don't delay. Call Tasty Catering at 847-593-2000 or view the holiday menu online at tastycatering.com.
That's 847-593-2000. tastycatering.com. Holidays. Gather, eat, and enjoy together.
Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I'm excited to tell our listeners that own or manage companies about a company you likely haven't heard of. I know that sounds strange, but with over 30 years in business, they've never had to advertise. They're that good. Anion Blinds is a local company that shares our values and have been selling and installing blinds, rolling shades, shutters, and motorized window treatments to area businesses for over 3 decades. And every review is positive. You'll be amazed how cost-effective it is working with experts who can recommend the right products, install them, and guarantee all their work. From property managers and Fortune 500 companies in need of replacement window treatments to startups in the decoration phase, Anion Blinds does everything right. Call competitively priced Anion Blinds today for your window treatment consultation at 630-662-1621 or visit AnionBlinds.com. That's ANION Blinds.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, we're almost there.
Yeah, and while you were off for a few days last week, we had Todd Chapman here from Food for the Poor. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this. We did radio planks. See, Todd has lost a lot of weight. He's lost almost 50 pounds since I've seen him, because I went to Haiti with him in July. And he said, the secret to his weight loss is plank. So he did radio. We did the interview while he was holding a plank. Those are the kind of crazy things we do when Daddy's gone,
right.
you know?
Morning Madhouse. Right, Bob Murphy in a straitjacket.
And we raised money for Food for the Poor while he was doing it. It's true.
See, I didn't see any planks.
You don't remember
He did the
Robert
plank
Murphy?
right there.
No.
No. Wait, what's
a plank?
A plank.
You mean like a board, like a wood board?
Well, you hold your body. Yeah, you plank. It's an ab exercise on a shoulder.
is.
It's this thing called working out.
Yeah.
At those Gym signs that you see.
Yeah.
Gym. Do they Gym?
On your toes, on your elbows.
Yeah.
For
and
as long
hold
as you
it.
can. Yeah.
Oh, did they call it on your
It's a
toes and on your
plank.
elbows? What are they?
Yeah, do you want me to do one?
No.
Oh, look at it. Like it's some perverted movement.
Keep it together.
It's a plank.
Yeah. Stick by the
So-
microphone.
Don't go do jumping jacks and burpees.
Okay.
But yeah, he helped, told more about, obviously Food for the Poor and the great work that they do and our time in Haiti. And you know what? They're in Puerto Rico now, Dan. They're bringing generators to American citizens. They're helping. They're bringing water and helping thousands of Puerto Ricans.
Oh, that's great. Are they
which
going
is
to get?
good.
Are they going to get Christmas bonuses like all those Puerto Rican government employees? Did you see that story?
No.
$113 million in bonus payments to employees and retirees of the Puerto Rican government. Oh,
Really?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, they're
Pride
helping.
for me, Puerto Rico over there.
We're asking for a
That's why
one-time-
we're focused on Haiti and Guatemala.
No, but those are government officials. Food for the Poor actually helps the people in
Yes,
Puerto Rico that the government is not helping. One-time donation of $50 that will provide food for a year and clean water for life for a child. Also, some of that money will go toward getting generators to people in remote areas of Puerto Rico. Go to 560theanswer.com, search for the keyword food. Just takes a few minutes, 560theanswer.com/food.
All right, and we want to thank our many generous business benefactors, Dentistry for All Ages, KP Toffee, Fathom Media, Midwest Companies, Joe Cotton Ford, of course.
Joe Cotton Ford.
Is it Gennady Insurance? I think that's
Yes.
right, Gennady Insurance. So many great business benefactors follow their lead and enroll in our business benefactor program by doing this. You make a $2,500 tax-deductible gift to Food for the Poor. We give you, and as gratitude for your generosity, 40 60-second commercials that run prime hours on our station to promote your business. That's much more than a $2,500 value. The way you do that is call Michael Mann, our sales director, 847-871-1527.
And we want to thank you in advance for your generosity. We're almost at our goal. We really need to hit it this year. We want to help 3,000 kids, and I know with your help we can do it. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
That egghead on CNN says the media getting it wrong proves that the media is doing it right. Is he right? At 5:38.
And later, SNL zings Matt Lauer. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
26, a little bit of light snow right now. A group of women accusing President Trump of sexual misconduct, holding a news conference at around 9:30 Chicago time in New York City. The women are among 16 who claim they were sexually assaulted or even sexually harassed or even assaulted by Trump before he was elected president. Claims that he and the White House have repeatedly denied. Russian troops are poised to exit Syria. Russian President Vladimir Putin made the unannounced visit to the war-torn country today after meeting with Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. Firefighters in California working to bring containment to the fifth largest blaze in the state's history.
My brother woke up and he kind of just pretty much woke up the whole house and was like, our backyard's on fire. And so we just quickly threw whatever we could back to the trucks and we immediately left.
Thomas Fire north of L.A. continues to grow, now 230,000 acres, leaving 90,000 without power. Today marks the last day of campaigning in the big Alabama Senate race. Republican candidate Roy Moore continues to deny allegations of sexual misconduct. Alabama Senate candidate Moore's chief strategist is confident not only will the former judge win, but will not face an ethics investigation once he gets to Washington.
This fake narrative about Judge Moore that the people of Alabama have been putting up with for 3 or 4 weeks is falling apart in front of y'all's eyes. And he will be the next senator from Alabama, and he will go up and help Trump.
Dean Young on ABC's This Week. An investigation is underway following a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. State police say a man showed up at a hospital late last night in Aurora, claiming he was shot while driving on I-290 near Manheim Road. Chicago police are once again trying to play catch-up after a violent weekend. 3 people died, 6 others wounded in shootings between Saturday night and last night. Every Chicago police patrol officer is now equipped with a body camera. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday that over 7,000 officers are now outfitted with those devices, more than 1 year ahead of schedule. A high school chamber orchestra in the northwest suburbs is helping memorialize and mourn the deaths of 3 of the school's teachers. 2 Buffalo Grove High School teachers lost their long battles to cancer last year. A third died from a heart condition. The orchestra director at the school, to help faculty and students deal with the losses, organized a concert featuring music by staff and students that help during times of grief. In fact, They even ordered a piece to be composed in honor of the high school by a New York-based composer, arranger, and an anonymous donor helped pay for that piece. The school's chamber orchestra will bring the entire school together and perform a piece called Solaces at its January 21st program. Rookie Mitchell Trubisky threw for a touchdown, ran for another. Hey, that number 1 draft pick might pan out after all. Bears over the Bengals 33-7 yesterday. Corey Crawford 31 saves in a Blackhawk win over the Arizona Coyotes 3-1. Bulls try to extend their season-long win streak to 3 games tonight against the Celtics at the UC. The News is a service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers, Soldier Field, Navy Pier, Hollins Jewelers. They're all part of Chicago's rich heritage where magic happens and memories are made. Start your own story this Christmas and forever make a memory with a gift of fine jewelry from Rogers and Hollins. Use promo code FOREVER for 10% off online. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is hoping America comes to its senses on sanctuary cities.
A city like San Francisco protects a guy like the Kate Steinle killer so he can be out on the street to do what he did. This will spur an even greater insistence and make the wall and make the elimination of sanctuary cities even more imminent.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Braving the holiday crowds at parties and malls can also mean you're braving germs. Be sure to have the Exergen temporal scanner at home to make sure you avoided getting a cold or the flu.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
5:35 and a check of the morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Despite some of that snow falling in parts of the Chicago area, checking the flight boards at O'Hare and Midway, things look good right now. Almost nothing in the way of delays, arrivals, or departures. Edens to Kennedy still look good. Inbound Eisenhower, heavy 1st Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. It's 30 minutes either way between 390 and downtown. Outbound heavy 25th to Manheim. Earlier crash at Wolf is gone. Down Stevenson tight starting around Harlem. It's 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishopport, 17 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. The other expressways and tollways are okay for now. Traffic, service of Ergodyne Tenacious Work Gear. Feeling that windy city chill? Get worker-approved and preferred Ergodyne warming gear for you and your crew, built for professional-grade performance. Find it at a Chicagoland Home Depot store. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Bit of snow this morning, followed by some afternoon snow showers, high 38. Snow showers early in the evening, then turning cloudy after midnight, low 22. Currently 27. Next news coming up at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So CNN has done it again. Their big bombshell turned out to be, well, not only a dud, It was a
Fake news?
yeah. I guess that's one way to put it. That's how the president would put it. It's a dry fire. Here's the
Yeah, explain the bombshell.
So here's what CNN reported. They essentially reported that Donald Trump Jr. was given advance notice about documents that were hacked or phished from Democrats by Russians or WikiLeaks or some combination of the two before they were publicly available. The story that CNN reported didn't include any evidence that the person who emailed Trump Jr. was correct, that his email had been opened, that he was connected to Russia, or anything else to justify the excitement that those had, that those, who are trying to continue to breathe air into this collusion narrative had in response to the story. And then they got their dates wrong. And the dates they allege the information was given to Trump Jr. Come after all of those emails, documents were publicly available. So not much of a bombshell. CNN.
Did they retract and apologize?
Here's their tweet on topic. CNN's initial reporting of the date on an email sent to members of the Trump campaign about WikiLeaks documents, which was confirmed by two sources to CNN, was incorrect. We have updated our story to include the correct date, and so there's no story, and present the proper context for the timing of the email. Now, this is where it gets fun. Unlike Brian Ross, CNN announced there will be no disciplinary action because the reporters in question followed the proper editorial processes. Now they followed the protocols and got the story completely wrong. In addition to, frankly, engaging in shoddy journalism, because had they done a little bit more digging, they would have not made the mistake that they made or perpetrated the fraud they perpetrated, depending on your the level of benefit of the doubt you're going to provide. CNN Bethany Mandel over at The Federalist had a great tweet. We publish fake news, but we're not sorry. All of our editorial processes were followed. We're not exposing the sources who deceived us because they meant well. Getting it wrong is a sign of health of the media, as I mentioned in the tease. She goes, I'm not sure where we go from here with the CNN stuff. I mean, there is a complete lack of interest in accuracy. It's all, very much like CNN's political perspective. It's all about everybody's feelings and good intentions. So I guess they're consistent in that sense.
It's worse than the National Enquirer. The National Enquirer, I think, is more journalistic responsibility and integrity than CNN right now.
Well, Molly Hemingway, again, over at The Federalist, one of Bethany Mandel's colleagues, she has a good write-up, 18 questions CNN should answer. Of course, they'll probably answer none of them. Of the 18 questions they should answer about this story, because remember, this is not CNN's first rodeo when it comes to propagating false information and, frankly, relatively easily proved inaccurate information. You remember, this is just back in a few months ago, 3 CNN journalists, including the executive editor in charge of a new investigative unit, resigned after the publication of a Russian-related article that was ultimately retracted. Remember that? So this is more manufacturing erroneous news to advance the Russian collusion investigation, or the Russian collusion narrative, really. And I guess the investigation by extension. And it's in addition to Gloria Borger's reporting that Priebus isn't going anywhere, to her well-placed sources. They've just gotten so much wrong just since Trump was elected, and high-profile, big bombshell stories that are completely without merit. One of the questions Molly Hemingway puts, and this would be interesting, your perspective as a journalist, former journalist, does CNN believe it's ethical to write about a document and not let readers and viewers know up front that reporters and editors haven't seen the document?
Then that's a non-story. Even at NBC5, you go in there, you'd have to read the document in order to do a story on said document. Wow.
Yeah.
And I love what President Trump tweeted. CNN's slogan is CNN, the most trusted name in news. Everyone knows this is not true, that this could, in fact, be a fraud on the American public. There are many outlets that are far more trusted than fake news CNN. Their slogan should be, are you ready? CNN, the least trusted name in news.
Will, another question from Hemingway, it's a good question. Will CNN out the sources, those two sources that they reference? If not, why not?
They should be suspended.
The sources burned them, so why not? Right? I mean, if the sources lied to them, right?
Then you should, there's no information that was reliable, so you can name their names. Definitely.
Why not burn the sources? Unless the sources are fictional or the sources gave the reporters something very different than the reporters ultimately reported. I mean, if CNN is really interested in trying to get to the bottom of this, other than just giving you the blanket editorial processes were followed, and so no disciplinary action will be taken.
So, I mean, it was a vicious and purposeful mistake.
Well,
and they were caught red-handed. And now what? Because, again, every time stories like this happen, the credibility just starts eroding more and more and more for CNN. Because now everything they say, I always double-check with another source to make sure it's true.
Yeah, well, as well you should.
Right, well, yeah.
By the way, another story over the weekend. I mean, just here we go. And this one is particularly personal to me. Dave Weigel, he is a reporter at the Washington Post. Here's another one. This is a guy.
So irresponsible.
This is a guy, Dave Weigel, you remember, was the blogger. This is 6 or 7 years ago. He was the blogger that was fired as a Washington Post blogger in the journalist disclosure, that internal thread among kind of the Gang of 500 in D.C., and he was making all kinds of derogatory statements about Matt Drudge, about Rush Limbaugh, and he was supposed to be kind of giving a center-right perspective on a Washington Post blog about politics. So he resigns. I mean, he resigns. He's got fired there, and he does a stint, and he's supposed to be center-right. He does a stint at Salon and then Bloomberg, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, he's back at the Washington Post as a reporter. And he tweets over the weekend a picture of Trump's rally at Pensacola on Friday night, and the picture is like of an empty hall. Well,
and then with the quote, packed to the rafters, because President Trump, when he spoke in Pensacola, it was packed to the rafters. So he took that, and it was fake news. I mean, it was a lie, because that picture that he took was hours before the event began. People were still filing in.
It was a packed house.
It was.
Of course it was. It's a president. Of course it's a packed house. Come on. It's so. And he's
so
like,
it's phony photos now. I mean, where is it going to stop?
And
but I'm glad President Trump called him out on it on Twitter.
Yeah, and he does the kind of like apology. I corrected it once I realized it was well before the event was going to take place. How dumb are you? You're one of these rising star Gang of 500 reporters. Well, how dumb are you? You think any president of the United States, a staged event, an announced rally like that, you don't think their supporters are going to come out? I don't care if it's Obama or Clinton or W or who. Of course it's going to be a packed house. You think nobody's going to show up for a Trump rally in Pensacola?
In Pensacola, yes.
96 hours before an important special election for Senate in Alabama? I mean, are you nuts?
Well, it's so
ridiculous. It's the Trump. I mean, it's the what Brett Barry talks about, the Trump derangement syndrome. They just won't think because they're so salivating to get after Trump that they'll take anything that they can take and just run with it that they think will paint Trump in a bad light without doing the simplest of fact-checking.
Well, President Trump on Twitter said that Dave Weigel should be fired. He said, it was irresponsible. They even admitted that the picture was a fraud. So what happens now? Is Washington Post going to keep him on? Because they shouldn't.
Melissa McKenzie over at American Spectator. If the media were surgeons, they'd kill patients every day, shrug at angry family, and say, "What? I apologized." That's about right. That's the attitude. By the way, so
That's
Dave.
funny because we always joke around like, we're not brain surgeons. It's going to be okay. We can do this.
Dave Weigel.
Gosh.
He is about 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And followed in my footsteps at Northwestern.
Uh-oh.
And he wrote for the Daily Northwestern, but he was the editor of the Northwestern Chronicle for a time, which is the paper I co-founded with a bunch of guys who are like heart surgeons and urologists on the West Coast now. So he was actually the editor of the conservative paper on campus that I was part of founding.
Did he date Meghan Markle?
I don't know. I highly doubt it. So...
Wow. So this is a little Personal for you.
Well, so, I mean, I feel like now I need to apologize for Dave Weigel being associated with the outlet that I co-founded. I apologize
I hope you
to
didn't
America.
teach him what the antics that he's up to today, Dan.
I mean, honestly, one story after the other, for all of Trump's foibles and I would say unnecessary and sometimes intemperate or thoughtless remarks, the best friends that he has going for him, the people that make him look so good by comparison, and politics is largely a game of comparison. I mean, the Dems and the Dems that populate the D.C. press corps, and they couldn't be helping the president anymore. You think that the Republican Party has problems and internal strife and competency questions. That's true. There are legitimate ones. But, I mean, compared to this Keystone Cops routine that the D.C. press corps and the Dems are doing, Trump, is offering a master class in management and communications.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Back to that Doug Jones, the robocall. What Doug Jones campaign is doing is they're putting Richard Shelby's comments made to Jake Tapper and putting that out to people via robocalls. Yeah. All right. Forecast for today. I promise this won't be fake news. But you never know. It is the weather department. Light snow this morning, followed by some pretty heavy snow showers this afternoon, about an inch accumulation, a high of 38 degrees. Tonight, a snow shower early this evening, and then the temperature is going to drop. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and a lot colder, a high only in the low 20s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Big pileups anywhere? Here's Jim Talamonte with The Answer.
Amy, we had a few crashes here and there. Nothing big, no major closures right now, but it's a little slick here and there with the snowfall. And it's Monday morning, so it's heavy now at O'Hare, westbound 190. We see delays from the Kennedy to the Tri-State. The outbound Kennedy itself, a little heavier earlier than usual. Delays from Foster to Sayre, 25 minutes downtown to the airport. Inbound 23, with slow pockets between the River Road Toll and Central. The Eisenhower, 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to the loop. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. One day you're the two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl MVP with the second longest starting streak in NFL history, and the next day you're on the bench. That's life. But how many of us would handle it with the humility of Eli Manning? Manning was given the option to continue to start and play a few series to keep his streak alive, but declined, saying, that's not the right way to play. In doing so, he essentially said that if coach thinks starting someone else at QB gives the team the best chance to win, then we should do that. Manning's personal streak isn't bigger than the team. It's hard, but hang in there and figure it out, said Manning. How Manning responded to being benched with understandable disappointment but not defiant entitlement is why he's a leader of men and a two-time Super Bowl champion, twice defeating the team of his generation for the Lombardi Trophy. A few days later, Sports Illustrated conferred the Muhammad Ali Legacy Award to a Castro-loving spoiled brat. The NFL's positive, teachable moments are few and fleeting. Lionizing Colin Kaepernick is an example of our time. Eli Manning's example is timeless. Most professional athletes are not role models, but some are.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I mean, just to close the loop on this just last week, ABC, Brian Ross is suspended over misreporting on Trump and Flynn. Retracts that story. Reuters has to retract the story about Mueller subpoenaing Trump bank accounts. CNN retracts the Russia story, and how many other Russia stories has CNN had to retract? Look, if the D.C. press corps wants to do creative writing rather than reporting, well, at least
they have a great program at the University of Iowa for creative writing.
And at least bring back better creative writers like Jason Blair and Stephen Glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Food for the Poor, our campaign. We're almost at our goal, but we're not quite over the finish line. Our goal to feed 3,000 kids from Haiti, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, and other Caribbean islands. Provide food for a year and clean water for life. We're getting closer, and we're just asking for a $50 donation. Make a donation on behalf of your well-fed child or grandchild or your well-fed neighbor. But go to 560theanswer.com/food. We're asking for $50. If you can only give 10 or 20, that's fine. Anything you can do would be much appreciated, and we need your help. You know, the people in Haiti, it's a different kind of poverty, and you heard us talk on and on about them all last week, too, because they need your help. They can't even go to a park to drink clean water. They can't go to a canal, a river, because the water is contaminated. And with Food for the Poor, they recognize the problem right away. They go into these remote villages, set up a water system within a week. So they're fast-acting. They're always moving. They're always there to help people in need. Go to 560theanswer.com/food.
And you can also participate by joining these business donor leaders like Fathom Media, Midwest Companies, LarryFriendBooks.com, KP Toffee, Joe Cotton Ford, Chicagoland Mold Docs, and many more. Business Benefactor Program, $2,500 gift to Food for the Poor, tax deductible. We give you 40 60-second commercials to run on our airwaves to promote your business during our primetime broadcasting hours. And to do that, you just call our sales director, Michael Mann, at 847-871-1527, 847-871-1527, or you can go to the same website Amy mentioned, 560theanswer.com/food, and you can enroll online.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer. Mike Gallagher is overwhelmed at the amount of sexual harassment accusations.
I don't know what you make of any of it. I seriously am at a stage in my career where I'm sitting back sort of shocked at the barrage of stories. It's exhausting. It's relentless. It is never-ending. It seems to be intensifying.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This holiday season, make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with autopay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
It is 5:57. Let's get an update on that morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound, it's heavy from the River Road toll to Foster. 27 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. It's also slow on westbound 190. Kennedy to the Tri-State. Eden's still okay. The Eisenhower, 34 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 is good. Bishop Ford looking at 20 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Tollways are okay. Northwest Indiana as well. Traffic, service of Napa Auto Parts. Getting cold out there, and when it gets cold, your ride can suffer. Head down to your local Napa Auto Parts store, where they have antifreeze, washer fluid, ice scrapers, and more. You can make it through this cold spell with ease. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Early morning snow being followed by a couple of late afternoon and early evening snow showers. High today 40, then tonight rather cloudy and breezy. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour, low 18. Partly sunny, breezy tomorrow, high 25. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
27 at O'Hare, 28 along Chicago's lakefront, and we have a little bit of light snow falling in the area. The news, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5%. All purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. An investigation is underway following a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway in the overnight hours. State police say a man showed up last night at a hospital in Aurora claiming he was shot while driving on I-290 near Manheim Road. Every Chicago police patrol officer is now equipped with a body camera. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday that over 7,000 officers are now outfitted with those devices. He says more than a year ahead of schedule. Meantime, the mayor will be going Hollywood, appearing on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert later tonight. It's also your chance to tell the state of Illinois about your drive to work or trip across the state. IDOT asking for your help in its annual Travelers Survey on its website. Bears and rookie Mitchell Trubisky rout the Bengals 33-7. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
President Trump trying to get out the vote in Alabama. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We need Roy to help us with the Republican Senate.
That's a robocall going around Alabama supporting Roy Moore, who's been shunned by other Republicans for sexual misconduct allegations with teenage girls decades ago that he denies. Democrat Doug Jones believes the accusers and is critical of Moore keeping a low profile before tomorrow's special Senate election.
What kind of public servant hides and goes only into enclaves and doesn't address the media?
Thousands more people told to flee wildfire flames in California.
You need to have a plan where you and your family can go, whether it's to a friend's home, whether it's to a family member, whether it's to a hotel, or whether it's to a shelter.
Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown. Some people who've stayed have been given masks. The smoke making the air tough and dangerous to breathe. The fire is spread from Ventura County, where nearly 800 homes and buildings have burned down. The U.S. continues more military drills near North Korea amid a nuclear standoff.
This week, it's missile tracking exercises between Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. In response to last week's exercises, North Korea said this meant that, quote, the outbreak of war was an established fact.
Fox's Amy Kellogg. Russia is dialing back its intervention in Syria. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, Russian President Vladimir Putin making a surprise visit to Syria and announcing a partial withdrawal of Russian forces who for 2 years have been helping Syria's president retake most of the country from ISIS and also anti-government rebels. Putin declaring victory, and in a speech to troops at an airbase, he said, friends, the motherland is waiting for you. It's the first time a foreign head of state has visited Syria since war broke out, Putin later flying to Egypt. Dave?
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Life happens. With ADT, you can feel safe with an ADT starter kit professionally installed for only $49. Call today and install an ADT starter kit that includes security panel, keypad, key fob, entry and motion sensors, and for a limited time, get a camera included and installed at no additional cost. That's a $449 value, installed for just $49.
Requires 36-month monitoring contract, QSB, and EasyPay. Activation and early term fees may apply. Certain marks excluded. License available at ADT.com, Florida EF001121, Louisiana F1639.
Tom Kaloran Photography is ready to memorialize your office holiday party with photos that come to life and bring your team together. From large group photos to individual portraits, wallet size to panoramic, your photos can even be printed on location as a take-home keepsake for your party guests. Whether it's a formal dinner or company potluck, Tom Kaloran Photography can create the right feel for your event. They did the photography for AM 560's Freedom Summit 2017, and the finished product was amazing. And here's an idea of just one more thing to make the holidays stress-free. Hire Tom Kaloran Photography for your family's annual Christmas get-together. You won't have to worry about taking pictures with everyone's phone or the hassle of getting everyone's email addresses to share photos with the family. With Tom Kaloran Photography, you'll have pictures with all the generations together in one place and can send every relative home with their own memory to hold on to forever. Call 708-361-0025 or visit KaloranPhotography.com. KILLORAN photography.com. This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio, Sunday afternoons at 2. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, pretty strong jobs numbers for November. Almost 250,000 new jobs created, which puts the total at north of 2 million in President Trump's first year. The unemployment rate down to just over 4%, which, if you believe that number, which I don't, but nonetheless, it's an indicator that is used to tell us a little bit something. The U6 number, the underemployed, which includes the underemployed, is probably a more accurate reflection. But there do seem to be positive signs for growth that could be made more positive if Republicans get a tax reform plan to the president's desk, which also looks likely. So everything is coming up roses this Christmas, isn't it? To answer that question, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Jimmy Pethokoukis, CNBC contributor and columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. James, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on this morning.
So are you sanguine about the future of this little experiment called America after the November jobs numbers?
Well, you know what? I was very upbeat and positive about the great American experiment for the jobs numbers. I remain
good
after the job number. Probably not going to let a single jobs report, but I think it shows this expansion. Which began in the summer of 2009, sort of, it is what it is. We're still creating lots of jobs. I think we've had kind of a little bump up here lately in GDP growth. I don't think the ability of this economy to generate economic growth has changed much over the past year, or really over the past few years. So I mean, listen, I think things are okay, and now is the time we should be, at least policymakers in Washington, should be attempting to fix America's longer-term problems So we have an opportunity to do that here. We'll see if we do.
Well, let's talk about the jobs added. Was it mostly in retail because of Christmas coming up?
No, not really. I think everybody who looks around knows that we're not seeing the same kind of retail, season, Christmas time hiring that we used to. Obviously the retail industry is undergoing some changes. But listen, we had over 200,000 jobs created. So whenever you have numbers like that, it's going to be pretty broad-based. Wage growth is kind of, is what it is. I don't think we should necessarily expect much higher wage growth unless we get our productivity up. So again, you could look at this report, or you can look at a report from a year ago, and they all look kind of the same. It's a lot of really stability in the economy, which maybe isn't so bad. We went through this horrible period in 2008 and 2009 when we got a lot of instability, and it wasn't very pleasant.
And we've also seen a pretty decent recovery over not just November, of course, but over the last several years, and in particular this year in the manufacturing sector, which is the real wealth-producing sector. A lot of new manufacturing jobs created, outside of Illinois, of course.
Yeah, listen, manufacturing is an important sector. It is a productive sector. I wouldn't expect that to be the big jobs driver over coming years. It's a place where if you're concerned about automation, that will continue to be a sector where you're going to have a lot of robots, and that will continue.
Yeah, well, I am concerned about that, the robots, because according to Elon Musk, humankind only has a 5 to 10% chance to survive the oncoming war with the robots.
Well, look, careful. They're just around the corner. I think we need. If you look at productivity, how productive are workers, and you get more productive workers by training them better, giving them more machines, having them operate differently, being innovative. We need more robots, and we're going to get more robots, and that's always been the case. So we have to learn how to educate our kids better, train and retrain our workers better, and that's if I was sitting in Congress, I'd be focusing a lot on that.
I remember when we had camera operators, and then they were replaced with robots. And
then they killed all the journalists.
No, and then they slammed into Joan Esposito on the anchor desk.
See?
The first week on the job.
That's how it starts.
It was very dangerous.
Shots fired.
Exactly.
Get down, take cover.
Yeah.
But with these job numbers, though, should the average investor adjust their long-term plan based on strong or weak job numbers?
Oh, I would not change my long-term investment plans based on any one economic report, or maybe any 10 economic reports. Listen, if America does well, the stock market will do well. I'm a long-term investor, and I wouldn't change things. I'd stay away from the Bitcoin.
No!
Come on!
We were just going to go in on one.
I don't know. Listen, Dan seems like he might be one of these secret Bitcoin millionaires.
I know.
Maybe
Did you get one?
He wouldn't be here this
for
morning.
it started at $200, and now what is it at? 16,000.
Yeah, that's where it was Friday. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, and it surged overnight.
And the futures markets.
But how do you get a Bitcoin? Yeah. Can you explain how do you buy one? Because you can't buy it through Edward Jones or Morgan Stanley.
you go to like Coinbase and you set up your own account. It's very easy. I've heard.
You go to Walgreens.
Yeah, you get a little card at the kiosk.
There's a card. You just pile them in. Pile all in the Bitcoins. Don't drop one on your way out. You need a computer. That's helpful.
Yes.
No, so you go on your computer and just buy one?
Yeah. Remember that they give you that you have a password or code that is basically your Bitcoin, and if you lose that code, you got no more Bitcoin. You can't access your Bitcoin.
Really?
So remember, keep those Post-its handy.
Ethereum is my cryptocurrency of choice, Jim Pethokoukis. So
I know that you go for the other market.
I'm a contrarian.
A broad portfolio
of cryptocurrency.
That's the kind of investor you are. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You have Bitcoins, don't you?
I can't believe that Jim is raining on my cryptocurrency parade. In addition to discounting the camera that attacked Joan Esposito, which was like the first shot fired at Fort Sumter in the oncoming war with the robots.
This This is why you're moving off the grid, Dad. Exactly. Worry about the robots. Worry about the class of the currency.
Yeah.
You're going to do the show from a former Minuteman silo in Montana.
Yeah, and that may explain why I have knives in every one of my door jambs at home, just in case. All right, let's talk a little bit about that tax plan that needs to get reconciled between the Republican caucuses on the Hill. How do you think that shakes out? We had Paul Ryan on the show last week, and he was a little cagey, as he's wont to be, about where the House might give and where the Senate might give, but some of the obvious big-ticket items where there's a difference of opinion, things like the AMT as well as the individual mandate with respect to Obamacare.
Right. Those are a couple areas. There's still a debate about how you pay for it with the state and local tax deduction. Even the president has mentioned perhaps raising that the corporate tax cut, which has dropped down from 35% to 20%. Maybe that 20% should be 22%. To help smooth over some of these decisions, you have a little bit more money to spend. So that remains an issue. Listen, the longer this thing sits out there, the more people are actually going to start to read this bill, and the more the lobbyists are going to read the bill and figure out things they don't like. Whether it is on capital gains taxes, on which of your investments should be taxed, should be the first ones, last out, should be which shares, should the capital gains taxes apply to. So there's going to be a lot of these small issues, and Republicans don't have a huge margin for error here, and especially they want to try to get this thing done before if Roy Moore loses in Alabama, before his replacement is seated. So they feel a little bit of a time crunch, and there remains some outstanding issues.
Well, the winner's going to be seated on the 13th, the day after the election. But what about corporate tax rates? I mean, how much exactly do you think they're going to agree upon? 22%, 20%?
Yeah, I don't.
And does it really matter?
When they made the decision to make the individual income taxes temporary, that meant that you were probably going to get a fairly low rate. They could afford a fairly low rate on a corporate tax. So whether it's 20 or 22, listen, that is not the difference between whether this economy grows 2% or 3%. This tax bill will help incrementally growth. So maybe a tenth of a percentage point or 0.2 of a percentage point over a certain period of time. So I don't think you'll look back on the economy 10 years from now and look at all the economic statistics, other than perhaps the debt, and say, you can see that's where the tax cut kicked in. I don't think that's the case. I think it'll be, to the extent it's going to be a plus, I think it'll be incremental. Government, we need to have a lot of different policy changes, not pin it out all on a magic tax cut to solve all our problems.
Right, and one of the other areas that's been underreported generally, it's gotten a little bit more ink of late, I would suggest, but is the Trump administration's defanging of the administrative state. I mean, the absence of new regulation is really paradigm shifting as compared to the last 25 years of Republican and Democrat presidents, and part of that has to go with the choices he's made for important cabinet offices and the secretaries of those cabinets. But isn't that a big story that's been a bit underreported this year about just the reduction in the administrative state, effectively, even reduction by not letting it continue to grow at its pace over the last 25 years?
Right. Listen, other countries see regulation as a problem too. And for instance, in Canada, they've had this rule where if you want a new regulation, you got to get an old one, or for every new one, you got to get rid of two old ones. So that general idea is a good idea. You have to see how it's going to be implemented. For me, some of the biggest regulations, like hurting growth, aren't necessarily even at the federal level. Sure. There's just a report came out this morning that showed these various occupational licensing rules, where you have to go to school, you have to take $10,000 worth of classes, to cut hair. Or
yeah, right.
Like but those rules, brand new study out showing those rules not only are bad for growth, make it very difficult for people to move across country, and we've seen a lot less interstate migration, so people aren't moving to where the jobs are, and we've made it harder for them to do it. So what I would like is for this administration to pay a lot more attention to the regulations that we know are hurting growth, even if they're at the state and local level, and either begin to talk about it, maybe could do kind of like some sort of prize system to encourage these states to examine how their licensing rules hurt growth. So I think broadly on deregulation, there's a lot more we can do.
Well, sure. And I'll tell you, I mean, in Illinois, more hours to become a hairstylist than to become an EMT are required. I mean, it's
right.
really.
That's like one of the classic examples.
Yeah.
Also in healthcare, letting non-doctors do things that they could do, but doctors aren't letting them do. Registered nurses, there's a lot more they could do, but there are a lot of rules saying they can't do these things. That kind of thing could really help transform our health system too. So these rules need to be looked at because I think they're really an impediment to growth, but we're just not talking about them.
Well, let me ask you a question in that vein then, because we've seen some of the attitudes, the research data on the attitudes of millennials towards capitalism, which are a bit frightening. And as a Schumpeterian Gales of Creative Destruction guy, the decline in entrepreneurship in this country and the decline in interest in entrepreneurship vis-a-vis practicing capitalism.
All right, listen, if you just look at the pages, it seems like that's going great. You hear about what's going on in Silicon Valley. Entrepreneurship just isn't what's going on in Silicon Valley. That we've had a big decline in people starting businesses. So when you take the decline in starting businesses plus people aren't moving as much, you have kind of more of a stagnant society. It's a less dynamic country. And the millennials. If a lot of what your experience with capitalism is, this big, we had the financial crisis and a very slow recovery. I think that may shade people's views. But listen, if they want a higher standards of living, if they want to continue to have amazing, cool stuff provided by the private sector, if they want their children at some point to have higher standards of living, that will be driven by the private sector and markets. We need a better safety net in this country, but as far as having growth driven by the private sector and innovation, I mean, there is no alternative to that.
He is James
Not even in Sweden.
What about, wow, not even Sweden.
Right.
Boy, that is a real exclamation point. Okay. All right, James Pethokoukis, who is not taking a long position on cryptocurrency, but is a CNBC contributor.
Or am I?
Oh, they see, we need full transparency here. Jim, also a columnist for the American Enterprise Institute. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
And a Jeopardy winner. And he
Yes, he
joined
is.
us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, he's not a winner. He's a champion. Okay, I'll get that right. Forecast for today, some snow this morning, some light flurries, and then we may have anywhere from a dusting to an inch by this afternoon, a high of 38 degrees. And tonight, a snow shower early this evening, otherwise rather cloudy, then cold, a low of 22. And we're not going to get much higher than that for tomorrow. Partly sunny skies, windy, and a high of just 24 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Eden's inbound. Little heavy Cicero to Elston. 21 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 19. Kennedy, already 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 12 from Montrose. 8 in the Express. Outbound 12 minutes to Montrose. 36 to O'Hare. Westbound 190 has delays. Kennedy to Manheim. Got Eisenhower. 42 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson. Jammed First Avenue to Kedzie. 50 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 20 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. A little heavy on the eastbound Adams Tollway from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
All right, guys, listen up. Oh, I have some big news that will blow you away. Your wife or girlfriend will be easy to shop for this Christmas. That's right, you heard me. Pajamagram is taking your holiday worries away with the world's softest flannel pajamas. Flannel's in right now, and they have the softest flannel pajamas in the world. Last minute runs to the mall, those days are over. This year, get her what you know she wants. Huggable, snuggable, flannel sleepwear. The world's softest flannel pajamas are available exclusively at pajamagram.com. So here's what you do. Go to pajamagram.com, order your flannel pajamas today. There's other choices too. And you don't have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging. And there's Christmas Day delivery. So go to pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJs and tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I do feel better, and my MS, I used to be right-handed, and now all my fine motor skills are gone. I can't write, and I cannot use knives. I can't, cut and cook. So then I got my husband's Balance of Nature books out, and I'm like, oh my God, all the food that I'm supposed to be eating is stuff that's in these pills. So it's easier for me to take a pill because I can't chop up some things, and I can't, I just can't do that for myself. That's why I started doing this too, and I do have more energy that's working and helping me.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craigies Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craigies on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell him Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to creditcard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358 and MLS 19186.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy, good sports story over the weekend with the Heisman Trophy Award.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. He actually was a walk-on at Oklahoma and won the Heisman. That's the first time that has ever happened.
You welcomed a chubby, unathletic kid into the program with open arms. I wouldn't say that many would do that, but thank you.
He was very gracious, and he had got arrested for public intoxication.
Who hasn't?
I know. just a little dust up, and then
he's not exactly Johnny Manziel.
They're playing Kansas, and he flipped off some player.
Who hasn't?
But I wonder if he's going to be drafted, though. I mean, I know he's a Heisman Trophy winner, but he's not even 6 feet tall. He's short.
He will go on to have the professional career of another. Let's see, what's a good Heisman? Gino Torretta. From University of Miami. How about that? Mike Scott is impressed with that.
Yeah.
As well he should be. That is a
Whatever
good
happened to
poll.
Gina
That's a good poll.
Toretta?
Thank you very much.
It really was.
Thank you.
Whatever happened to Gina Toretta?
He went on to get drafted and play for a minute, and
then that was it.
Yeah, I think he's like working at a Tasty Freeze or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he owns the team.
He could own with a signing bonus, but no, it's a great story. The guy's 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, barely a speck of athletic talent. I'm like a CNN reporter just plagiarizing a line from Rudy. That's the quality of my original content.
But he's scrappy, and he's
and he
he's
maybe
got a
on
heart of gold.
Maybe on the championship team, but he won't be because he's not playing for Clemson. But okay.
We want to tell you about our campaign this year. We're going to remind you about Food for the Poor and what Food for the Poor is. I mean, they are an incredibly efficient and transparent organization. 95% of all the money they raise goes directly to help those in need in places such as Haiti, Guatemala. They're now in the Caribbean. They're now in Puerto Rico helping people. And we're asking for a one-time donation of $50 that will provide food for a year and clean water for life. Our goal is 3,000, and we're about 2,000, so we still need your help. Go to 560theanswer.com/food, and please make a donation.
All right, and all you secret Bitcoin millionaires out there.
Yeah, you know who you are, Dan.
Scrape off a little bit of Bitcoin and join our business benefactor program, like some of these other business donor leaders, such as Elgin Recycling, Hayward HVAC, Chris Jacobs Century 21 Affiliated, Latoria Brothers Construction, Cafe Salsa in Countryside, the Neuroscience Center, Bradford Systems, AHS Plumbing, TTI Medical Training, Gennady Insurance, LarryFriendBooks.com, so many more. We appreciate their leadership and generosity. And if you join them by making a $2,500 tax-deductible gift to Food for the Poor, like them, you will receive 40 60-second commercials to promote your business on our airwaves that run primetime broadcasting hours Monday through Friday. And to enroll in that program, one of two ways. You call Michael Mann, our sales director, 847-871-1527, 847-871-1527. Michael Mann will get you set up. Or you just go online to 560theanswer.com/food, and you can enroll online, and you don't even have to talk to Michael Mann.
And
but it's a pleasure to talk to Michael Mann.
He's very personable. And if you have any questions, because a lot of people are like, well, I might want to do it. You're a little lukewarm about it. Just call Michael Mann. He will answer all of your questions. Do it now, because you know what? You got to act fast because spots are filling up quickly. So do it today. Call Michael Mann, 847-871-1527. Yes, I have memorized the man's number. Or go to 560theanswer.com/food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. What are we doing, Dan?
We're going to talk about ambiance modeling for the holiday parties this year. Ambiance modeling for your holiday parties.
Really?
At 6:36.
And later, companies that have canceled Christmas holiday parties because of the sex scandals and hired monitors. But first, let's go to the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
I'll make sure I walk around with my amuse-bouche as I do my modeling. 27.
You're an old hand at that.
I am. I can put two in one hand. 26 degrees, cloudy skies right now. And as Dan and Amy have been talking with Jim Pethokoukis about, we've been watching Bitcoin this morning. The price is skyrocketing, and Bitcoin futures are officially trading on the CBOE Futures Exchange. And within hours, prices jumped 10%, actually triggered a temporary halt in trading this morning as the website tried to keep up. A group of women accusing President Trump of sexual misconduct say they are holding a news conference at about 9:30 this morning in New York City. Russian troops are poised to exit Syria. Russian President Vladimir Putin made an unannounced visit to the war-torn country today and met briefly with Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. Firefighters in California working to contain the fifth largest blaze in that state's history, and it continues to grow. That mandatory evacuation zone is much larger this morning and now includes Westmont College in Santa Barbara County, sending students like Eric Fowis scrambling.
I am unable to go back and get my clothes, and so I don't have some important things right now, but I have myself and my friends, and that's what's important.
Thomas Fire has grown to about 230,000 acres. Today marks a big day in the campaign in the big Alabama Senate race. President Trump increasingly becoming involved.
Hi, this is President Donald Trump, and I need Alabama to go vote for Roy Moore. Roy Moore is the guy we need to pass our Make America Great Again agenda.
As part of a Trump robocall, the president insisting that electing Democrat Doug Jones will stop any progress being made. An investigation is underway following a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. State police say a man showed up at a hospital late last night in Aurora, claiming he was shot while driving on I-290 near Manheim Road. Chicago police once again trying to play catch-up after a violent weekend. 3 died and 6 others were wounded in shootings. 3 teens have been released from the hospital. They were wounded by gunfire following a high school basketball game outside Champaign Central High School on Friday night. Authorities there still investigating who fired those shots. Rookie Mitchell Trubisky threw for a touchdown, ran for another in his best showing yet. Bears end a 5-game losing skid, routing Cincinnati 33-7. Also helped that Jordan Howard ran for 147 yards and a pair of scores. Corey Crawford, 31 saves, as the Blackhawks were 3-1 winners over Arizona. Cubs bolstering their bullpen. Multiple outlets reporting the Northsiders agreed to a 2-year deal with relief pitcher Brandon Morrow. We'll watch the Bulls tonight. They have a 2-game win streak, and they take on the Celtics at the United Center. The news is a service of Staples. Staples has great prices on mail and ship solutions to keep your business running all season long. Look for hot deals on laptops and software accessories like earbuds, keyboards, routers, and modems, even services like PC setup and repair. All for less at Staples. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager fights to keep the good in the country.
I should lose credibility if I am wrong. Everything good is being warred on. Whatever is noble and kind and fine and elevated. It is like the darker side of humanity, represented by our fellow citizens, not liberal, but on the left.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
6:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Looking north, got a closure of Rollins Road and Third Lake between 45 and Drury. There's a crash there. The Edens runs 23 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Crash reported outbound near Gulf Road. Kennedy, 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 36. It's heavy on westbound 190 approaching O'Hare. The Eisenhower is 46 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 36. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishopford down 29 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. West on Tri-State heavy approaching 290. Eastbound Adams tollway slow. Tri-State to Kennedy. Other tollways are okay. And traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. It's getting cold out there, and when it gets cold, your ride can suffer. Head down to your local Napa Auto Parts store. They have antifreeze, washer fluid, ice scrapers, and more. You can make it through this cold spell with ease. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Bit of snow this morning. We'll have a little more snow this afternoon. If the forecast holds, high near 38. Snow showers overnight, low of 22. Currently 27. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
It's the most.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and apparently we've been moved to Light FM.
Yeah, ding dong.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to do a Christmas song with me this Friday?
No, I don't. Are you caroling?
Well, we always sing, right before the end of the year.
I've got some ambiance modeling to do. This is my high season. So, Friday is my last show of the year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought we should sing.
Yeah, well, the last 2 weeks, it's all holiday parties and ambiance modeling for me.
What is ambiance modeling?
You don't know about ambiance modeling? Ambiance modeling
No, I don't.
Is where corporations go to modeling agencies like the ones that use me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are you a leg model or a hand model?
I'm versatile.
Or the buttocks model?
I'm a versatile.
Are you a stud double for the buttocks?
I don't do nudes. All right.
Anymore.
It's all tasteful. But you hire attractive people to go to your holiday party.
So awesome.
Ambiance modeling, and you just kind of.
Oh, wait, but they're not ladies of the night, right?
No, they're just
window dressing.
Ambiance models. Yeah, it's just like people like me that mostly, their greatest attribute is their physical beauty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so they just kind of spice up the holiday party, like people say, "Oh, look at that dude lurking in the corner." Thank you for enhancing the ambiance of the holiday party.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but no more. It's women who look like.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
And you stand in the
What's your name?
and just like this, you stand in the middle of the room with like a 10-foot safety circle around you, and you just pose like a fembot.
It's not awkward.
It's really.
Well, no, she's got the pose. Yeah, she's got her hands on her hip and her one leg perched forward, kind of like what Mike Scott does in the kitchen.
Well,
when he practices his ambiance modeling.
He was one of the trailblazers for the industry. Facebook and Google-sized companies, as well as smaller businesses, an occasional wealthy individual. Record number of tech companies, according to this Bloomberg report, paying $50 to $200 an hour for each model, hired solely to chat up attendees. So, it's a way to. It's a little my side hustle. I go to holiday parties and chat up attendees and make a little scratch on the side. Huh?
Do you mix up your outfits?
Well, of course. I mean, depending on the. I try to, really kind of fly in formation with the client, and that's what you have to do in the ambiance modeling industry.
I know one mortgage company. I'm not going to say their name. They're having their Christmas party this year, and they're bringing monitors. Kind of like, when you went to prom and you had parent volunteers and make sure that, there's 12 inches between you and the girl.
Save some room for the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. But they're doing that because of the current culture, the current conditions which is going on with sexual harassment allegations. So these monitors are going to make sure that nothing nefarious happens, that nobody gets a little too handsy, if you know what I mean, and they control their liquor intake.
Yeah, all holiday parties should be Facebook Live. Should be right. That's just put everything.
That's a great idea.
Or just assume that you're on camera. Maybe that's the way. That's the way to institute some discipline among some of your more gregarious co-workers.
Well, there's
just
cameras
to put everything
everywhere.
on camera.
I mean, I know we have our web cameras to go live, but even behind that, look, there's another camera where they can look at you from home. They're spying on you.
Yeah.
They're breathing down your throat. But I also know other companies, they've decided to cancel their Christmas party, the holiday party.
Yeah, that's putting a real crimp in the ambiance modeling industry.
Yeah, how are you handling it? I mean, have you had any gigs canceled yet?
It's more competitive than it's ever been, I can tell you. Here's the thing. This would be fun at your holiday party if you're having one. Try to pick out the ambiance model.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think, wait.
Does she work in accounting?
Exactly. I don't.
Is she in traffic?
If you're at a small company and you have some,
someone like that shows up,
some Victoria's Secret model show up, then wait a second. It's who's she with? It's an ambiance model, or who's he with? Because I want to be.
Well, 312-642-5600. Is anyone out there? Their company has canceled their Christmas party. or they're having monitors. I mean, I
Because-
know we've moved ours. We used to have ours on the weekend, and
Yeah.
and then somebody who used to work here, John Howell, went up to Jeff Reisman and said, nobody really wants to hang out with everybody else on a weekend, so just have it during the day.
Oh.
So now it's on a Tuesday
Bah humbug.
at noon, which actually I like because, it's a nice meal, and then you don't have to drive on the weekends. And,
We did have to uninvite Al Franken, though, this year.
well, he was going to be our guest speaker.
So, yeah. And Elsie Hastings. You see Elsie Hastings, congressman from Florida, $220,000 sexual harassment settlement. The Treasury on his behalf with a woman who accused him of sexual harassment. 7 women now have accused a Ninth Circuit appellate court justice.
Yeah, and guess what he did in his chambers? Hey,
Alex Kaczynski is his name.
Hey, want to watch a little porn? Because that's really judicious with your time.
He gives a whole new meaning to oral arguments.
Oh, we stop. He's 67 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still serving as a judge on the court.
Ninth Circuit is a catastrophe, too. So, boy, I'd be really sorry to
He
see
has more
Alex
than
Kaczynski go.
500 employees in his chambers.
Let me get
over
to
the 35-year career.
Let me get to the story because everybody's doing the rundown of Franken and Hastings and Roy Moore and even bringing Trump's accusers back into the fold. Everybody's doing that, and the ping ponging of partisanship on the issue. Let's talk to the fundamental issue because that's what we do on this show, different than other shows. Very interesting piece in New York Times over the weekend by Lucinda Franks, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. She writes about her generation of women. My generation thought women were empowered. Did we deceive ourselves? My generation came of age amid the exhilaration of second-wave feminism. We saw ourselves as strong, fierce self-defenders. Inappropriate sexual advances, we told ourselves, were simply an opportunity to prove our superiority over the weaker sex. Few of us believed we sustained any serious damage. Most of us thought that with enough grit, we could defy the odds and find our way. And here's the interesting questions that she asked. So this is clearly a woman of the left, but she asked these questions and she doesn't really answer them herself. But she talks about once the sluice opened and all of the accusations and targets were made public over the last several months. She writes, as the stories about what these women experienced became more perverted and even downright weird, I wondered whether male hubris had finally gone berserk. Had the sexualization of American pop culture in the 90s and 2000s taken the restraints off the male id, freeing men to pursue their most absurd fantasies? Had feminism, with its promotion of sexual freedom combined with these cultural changes, paradoxically poured gas on the fires of these workplace assaults? Or had this stomach-turning type of aggression simply evaded the rumor mill but been happening all along? Getting to the core of it, she's sort of lurching for it, but she doesn't want to come to terms with it. The libertinism of first-wave feminism, and of course, men jumping on board with the sexual revolution because this is good enough for me,
yeah,
right? And so all of the standards of decorum and restraint were shelved as anachronistic, and it's not just the 90s and 2000s. The sexualization this started clearly in the 60s, and metastasized by the time that Miss Franks references. So that a part of it is that for women in the workplace over the last 30 to 40 years, or even the last 20, but if you have some perspective on this, is Lucinda Franks accidentally getting to something about the lines being erased, the moral relativism being elevated, and that exacerbates some of the incidents that we've been reporting over the last 3 months that have become now international news. Is that does feminism in its modern Gloria Steinem, Bella Abzug incarnation bear responsibility for that? Some responsibility. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Amy, you're a feminist of sorts.
I'm semi-feminist. No, I believe in equal rights for women. I do.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm just
not
worried.
groundbreaking.
Well, no. This is the sexual misconduct cases that we're seeing all over and in every walk of life I am worried that it's going to affect men hiring women in the future. I mean, why would you? Because she could turn around and accuse you of something like that. I mean, I think that less women are going to be involved in the workforce and less women are going to be mentored by men in superior positions. Because what if, they look at her the wrong way? I mean, yesterday or last week, everyone, I think, is acting weirdly toward me. Todd Chapman came here and he said, because I wanted to hug him because we went to Haiti together and that was, death-defying instances we had. And I wanted to hug him. And he said, I don't know. Can I hug you? Is that okay? And I said, yes, you're my friend.
Yeah.
Just things like that. And then somebody asked me
that's
if they
why
could compliment me on my hair. Because I did get my hair cut last week. It looked lovely, by the way, but you weren't here. And I said, yes, you can compliment me.
I heard about it. Yeah.
But I'm saying that people are acting strangely toward women in the workplace.
That's
because
why
of all of this.
there is Pope-mobile glass that separates us, just to be sure, here in the studio. I think it's a fair point. And so about you raise about hiring women.
Yep. Why would you bother?
How about dating women?
That's a problem too.
Lara Witt.
Who's that?
She's a queer femme of color.
Okay.
That's how she self-describes.
Yes.
10 things every intersectional feminist should ask on a first date. You ready for this first date? Single guys or gals? I mean, even gals, literally. Here's some of the questions that
should be asked prior to the first date or on the first date?
These are pre-qualifying questions to go out with Lara Witt.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Bring them on, Dan.
What are your thoughts on gender and sexual orientation?
Bye-bye.
Let me, Lara Witt is kind enough to provide some context to the question to explain it. The gender binary is a tiny box, and I wish it didn't exist, but it does. I wouldn't want to be with anyone who is queer-phobic. One out of many important elements to dismantling patriarchy is to abolish gender roles, as well as the limited understanding that we have about sexuality and gender itself. Okay, maybe let's try this one. What are your thoughts on sex work?
Oh, I lose my number.
Much like racism and misogynoir.
Misogynoir?
Yeah, new term. Being pro-sex worker is a necessary pillar of dismantling the patriarchy. This is where the second wave feminism has brought us. That's what Miss Franks in the New York Times is getting to. Here's where we are. And this is maybe an extreme case, but it's not uncommon. Being pro-sex worker is a necessary pillar of dismantling the patriarchy. I don't mean pro-sex worker in the sense where non-sex workers write op-eds and think pieces about how sex work is amazing and feminist. I mean the kind where we pass the mic to sex workers because they know their experiences better than anyone who hasn't ever engaged in sex work. I mean the kind of pro-hoism. Pro-hoism is another new term for you.
Pro-hoism.
Pro-hoism, meaning pro-prostitution.
Yeah.
Pro-hoism, where you understand the labor of sex workers of color, especially trans women of color, who engage in sex work because their experience and knowledge is crucial to understanding the oppressive structures of our world. You wanna stay past appetizers with Miss Witt? Are you a supporter of the BDS movement? Right, boycott, divest, sanctions. She's an Israeli opponent. Let's see. Do you think capitalism is exploitive? Can any human be illegal? Does your allyship, yeah, it's not friendship anymore, it's allies, because it's all political. So these are political allies. Does your allyship include disabled folks? Are you allowed to use folks? Those are some of the questions that you'll get if you go on a date with Lara Witt or anyone like her. David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but in 2020, Al Franken, Jill Stein, and Anthony Weiner are all running together. President, Vice President, and Attorney General. They're going under the platform of Frankenstein-Weiner.
There you go. Thanks for the call, David. Yeah, that's going to be a good one at the Christmas dinner table. Dan in Libertyville.
Hello, and thank you for taking my call. I would like to say that it's been my experience in the workplace that things have become much more difficult as of late. I had an incident where I was speaking with some women, and I referred to them as girls. I said, how are you girls doing?
Oh, no.
And I got stopped with, why do you call us that? We're ladies. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. And I had to back company got sued because of having this calendar in the men's dressing room for the lockers and the showers. Then you throw in natal leave for when they get pregnant. It's becoming more and more difficult to want to have a woman in the workplace without it becoming litigious.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dan. Appreciate
Did you take
that.
down my Women of Iowa calendar?
I did. I found it offensive.
Yes, I was in a few.
What's between your ears that counts, Amy. It's what's here, here, and here. That's what I care about. Tom in Deer Park.
I heard Gloria Steinem's name quoted. As far as expertise, I'm not much of an expert at any of this, but you know I'm the biggest never Trumper you let on the air. This is from Gloria Steinem last week at the Massachusetts Women's Conference in Boston. Quote, Trump is not the president. He lost by 10 million votes. He's the harasser in chief. So I think she needs to get a constitution, do a little reading on the Electoral College.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tom. She also has said recently, with respect to the criticism she's engendered for being a defender of Clinton 25 years ago, it's not harassment and we're not hypocrites. That's responding to how they approached Bill Clinton versus how they're approaching the president in 2017 and others who've been accused, at least others who've been accused who are not fellow travelers, ideological. Mark Stein, we don't have time to get to it. Mark Stein has a really good piece on this, a guide to pants dropping for the new man, at his website, steinonline.com, but picks up Gloria Steinem and some of these other issues relating to feminism in its modern incarnation and how twisted it is, and it's getting more twisted by the day as they try to defend their political fellow travelers at the expense of anything resembling principle or women's empowerment.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs, who's back this afternoon. Job growth signals expanding economy, net neutrality heads for extinction, and Delta bag fees are rising. Those stories next.
Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929.
As the new business week begins, economists and investors are still pumped up over Friday's updated jobs report. The addition of 228,000 jobs last month is considered a key sign of enduring economic growth, since employers have now added jobs for the 86th straight month, and the rate of Hispanic unemployment is currently the lowest in U.S. history. The Federal Communications Commission is scheduled to vote this week on so-called net neutrality, an Obama-era policy designed to stop broadband companies from too much control over Internet content. Major companies say they already favor an open Internet. The FCC vote is slated for this Thursday. Delta Airlines is increasing baggage fees on economy flights to Europe and North Africa. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. One day you're the two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl MVP with the second longest starting streak in NFL history, and the next day you're on the bench. That's life. But how many of us would handle it with the humility of Eli Manning? Manning was given the option to continue to start and play a few series to keep his streak alive, but declined, saying, that's not the right way to play. In doing so, he essentially said that if coach thinks starting someone else at QB gives the team the best chance to win, then we should do that. Manning's personal streak isn't bigger than the team. It's hard, but hang in there and figure it out, said Manning. How Manning responded to being benched with understandable disappointment but not defiant entitlement is why he's a leader of men and a two-time Super Bowl champion, twice defeating the team of his generation for the Lombardi Trophy. A few days later, Sports Illustrated conferred the Muhammad Ali Legacy Award to a Castro-loving spoiled brat. The NFL's positive, teachable moments are few and fleeting. Lionizing Colin Kaepernick is an example of our time. Eli Manning's example is timeless. Most professional athletes are not role models, but some are.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm doing great. I'm loving the balance of nature. I don't know, my hair feels fuller. I think my skin looks nicer. I do see like improvement, and I'm a very energetic person even with type 2 diabetes and everything. I always feel pretty good. So this is really, I think I even have more energy on this, which is great. You know, some products are, you know, just phony products and they just tell you, but the people from Balance of Nature, when you hear, like I listen to the radio show so many times and I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like, I should just try it.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, we're nearing our goal of feeding 3,000 children in Haiti and Guatemala this Christmas for 1 year, providing them water for life through our partnership with Food for the Poor that does amazing work in two of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. And we want to thank all our business benefactors, including Midwest Companies and Joe Cotton Ford and Bradford Systems and Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago and Elgin Recycling and Twin Supplies and so many others for their donor leadership for this program.
And if you want to become a business benefactor, get on this today. Do it right now. Don't waste any more time because spots are filling up quickly. Here's what you do. Make a one-time donation of $2,500. It's tax deductible. And the money goes to Food for the Poor. And as a way of saying thank you, we generously give you 40 one-minute commercials that will air right here Monday through Friday. Call Michael Mann right now, even if you have any questions. You're thinking about it, just call him. He'll answer your questions. Michael Mann at 847-871-1527 or go online to 560theanswer.com/food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, we're going to talk to our friend Congressman Peter Roskam about a couple of matters of importance. One, the Mueller investigation and the FBI's stonewalling of House subpoenas. And two, of course, where things stand in conference with the tax cuts that will ultimately be sent to the president's desk. That's at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Fox will have the very latest on the New York City Police Department responding to reports of explosions near Times Square and a New York City Port Authority building. We'll also have the very latest on how Bitcoin is affecting the CBOE. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
An explosion in New York City. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It happened a short time ago at the subway station at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue in Manhattan. And as you can hear, there's a lot of fire trucks and police moving into the area, trains being diverted around the area, which is also home to the Port Authority bus terminal. We don't know many more details yet about this explosion. Moving now to Alabama.
We're running a campaign that's going after votes across the state. They're not. They're in hiding.
Democrat Doug Jones says he believes Roy Moore's accusers, hopes other voters do too, as the White House steps up the support the day before the special Senate election. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Alabama voters are hearing a familiar voice on the phone.
Get out and vote for Roy Moore.
Robocalls from President Trump ahead of the Alabama Senate special election. Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, says the White House wants a Republican to take the seat.
To vote for lower taxes and more secure borders, certainly less regulations.
Republicans say the election is about not giving Democrats a chance to derail the president's agenda before the 2018 midterms. Dave?
Rachel, a giant wildfire chasing more people away in California.
An evacuation order means that you need to leave your residence or your business immediately.
That's Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown. Some wealthy homes of celebrities among those in danger as the fire has spread from Ventura County, where nearly 800 houses and buildings burned down. More anger at America
Security forces firing tear gas at protesters upset over the U.S. recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Palestinian president says he will not meet with Vice President Pence when he visits next week.
The vice president's office has now put out a statement. It reads in part, and I quote, "It's unfortunate that the Palestinian Authority is walking away again from an opportunity to discuss the future of the region."
Fox's David Lee Miller in Jerusalem. Fox News, fair and balanced.
27 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. We'll keep our eyes on developments in New York City this morning. But here in Chicago, the price of Bitcoin is skyrocketing. Now that Bitcoin futures are officially trading. They launched on the CBOE, and within hours, prices had jumped about 10%. That triggered a temporary trading halt. An investigation continues this morning following a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. State police saying a man showed up late last night at a hospital in Aurora, claiming he was shot driving on I-290 near Manheim Road. Multiple lanes of that expressway were shut down temporarily as detectives searched for evidence. Every Chicago police patrol officer is now equipped with a body camera. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday over 7,000 officers are now outfitted with those devices, he says, more than a year ahead of schedule. The mayor himself going a bit Hollywood tonight, appearing on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Police in Normal are blaming a domestic situation for a weekend stabbing near the campus of Illinois State University. Police say this morning they now have a suspect in custody. Rookie Mitchell Trubisky threw for a touchdown and ran for another. His best showing yet. Bears end a 5-game losing streak, routing Cincinnati 33-7. Jordan Howard also ran for a pair of scores. Corey Crawford, 31 saves. Blackhawks over Arizona 3-1. Bulls try to extend their season-long winning streak to 3 games tonight versus the Celtics at the United Center. The news, a service of Panera Bread. Family and friends will like whatever you get them this holiday, but why not get them something they'll love? A Panera Bread gift card. For every $50 in gift cards purchased, get a $10 bonus card for yourself. Visit your local bakery cafe for more details. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Hannity Show. The Sean Hannity Show.
The government never shuts down. I tried to say this when Obama was president. The government will never shut down. You're not going to have your Social Security check not handed to you. You know, there might be a layoff for people, but those people in Washington are glad to get the days off.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
This holiday season, make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with autopay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing more than just a rate. Does calling the company with 11 J.D. Power Awards for client service matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative technology, matter? If working with America's #1 online lender matters to you, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Life happens. With ADT, you can feel safe with an ADT starter kit professionally installed for only $49. Call today and install an ADT starter kit that includes security panel, keypad, key fob, entry and motion sensors, and for a limited time, get a camera included and installed at no additional cost. That's a $449 value, installed for just $49.
Requires 36-month monitoring contract, QSB, and EasyPay. Activation and early term fees may apply. Certain marks excluded. License available at ADT.com, Florida EF001121, Louisiana F1639.
7:06, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On 53, it's been a quiet morning up till now. There's a crash reported on 53 at Dundee. Northbound Tri-State has growing delays. Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis, and it's really heavy from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Eden's inbound jammed. Devon to the junction. Crashed Cicero on the right shoulder. 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 35. A crash at Oakton just cleared. Kennedy, 47 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose. 22 in the Express. Outbound 25 minutes to Montrose. 55 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower is a 50-minute drive. 390 to downtown. 37 from Manheim. Outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 54 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57's 5. Bishop Ford, heavy from Steel Bridge to Ryan. There was a crash at 103rd, so it's 32 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Northwest Indiana looks good. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy, snow early this morning, then a couple of snow showers late in the afternoon. High 40. Snow shower early this evening, otherwise rather cloudy and breezy tonight, low 18. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
28 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, you heard on the news, and we'll keep our eyes attendant to this report of an explosion at the New York City Port Authority, Amy.
Yeah, the bus terminal, it's near 42nd Street and 8th Avenue. They're saying ABC News, now take it this is ABC News, a possible pipe bomb has exploded. One person is being questioned right now. We don't know numbers of any injuries and hopefully no fatalities, but they're evacuating the area, and then nearby subway lines are being evacuated too.
CNN's reporting one person is in custody, but it's CNN, so who knows?
And I mean, isn't that sad that we're quoting ABC and CNN, and I'm not buying any of what they're saying?
Well, right. They need to be fact-checked. Who fact-checks the fact-checkers? But we'll keep you updated as information becomes available on this, and that's a nice corollary to who investigates the investigators. I got to tell you, the composition of the Mueller investigative team and the performance last week of FBI Director Christopher Wray, a Trump appointee, before the House Judiciary Committee, is starting to get real concerning about the legitimacy, the standing, I hate to say it, but the standing of the FBI, the standing certainly of Mueller's investigative team. Is this basically the Hillary fan club that's investigating Team Trump? Devin Nunes sat down for an interview with Catherine Herridge at Fox over the weekend. Dev Nunes, who's the House Intel chairman. He cleared by the House Ethics Committee of the allegation that he improperly disclosed classified information. So he's back in the saddle, as it were. And that's sort of the question that he posed with respect to the information coming out about the composition of Mueller's team, how conflicted so many are per their ties to Hillary Clinton. In particular, it's remarkable, said Nunes.
I hate to use the word corrupt, but they become at least so dirty that who's watching watchmen? Who's investigating these people? There is no one.
And on the animating matter, Russian collusion?
I think for the most part, people thought it had to do with Russia collusion, but we have no evidence of Russia collusion between the Trump campaign.
No evidence, and that's despite Adam Schiff, the Democrat from Area 51, continuing to prosecute that case and appear regularly on CNN, who, of course, is also trying to prosecute the case with the same verve as Adam Schiff. Just a couple of more notes on the Department of Justice and the Mueller investigative team.
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal reporting over the weekend, Andrew Weissman, who is one of Mueller's investigators, attended Hillary Clinton's election night party. He also praised outgoing acting Attorney General Sally Yates after she was fired for refusing to defend Trump's travel ban, temporary travel ban.
That email, everyone got a hold of that.
Yeah.
We read that on the air.
Donated thousands of dollars to Obama's campaign, to the DNC.
And what about that FBI agent who sent anti-Trump text messages?
Yeah, that's
to his girlfriend, who is an attorney at the FBI.
That's Peter Strzok. He's gone. His girlfriend / mistress.
Yeah, but he was there when Hillary Clinton was interviewed by the FBI in July of last year. And
Strzok's another one. How about Aaron Zelby, former chief of staff to Mueller when he served as FBI director? He represented Justin Cooper, who was a key figure in the Hillary email controversy. Represented him as a private attorney. He's a Mueller investigator. Wow. Bruce Orr, senior Justice Department official, demoted last week amid an ongoing investigation into his contacts with Fusion GPS, the firm responsible for the anti-Trump dossier. Oh, and speaking of that firm and that dossier, Bob Goodlatte, who is the Judiciary Committee chairman in the House, tried to get Christopher Wray, the FBI director, to answer questions about the Bureau's performance in 2016 and the role that that dossier played into investigating the Trump campaign and the Trump team, if you will. And you just got stonewalling. The same stonewalling that the FBI has been doing in response to subpoenas from the House Intel Committee that Paul Ryan said last week they had gotten word from the FBI that there would be compliance with those subpoenas. All these individuals that are compromised in the inner sanctum of Mueller's investigative team, plus what's going on at FBI and the lack of compliance. I mean, is the FBI answerable to anyone? Is Mueller's investigative team answerable to anyone? Do the legal canons apply? I mean, one of the first things you do before taking on a client, before participating, just ask Forrest Claypool, is do a conflict check. So it's very concerning. I mean, tax cuts are important, but so is the legitimacy of the top law enforcement agencies in our government, I'd say. And for more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Congressman Peter Roskam, of course, Republican from the Western Burbs. Peter, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So before we get to your important role on the matter of tax reform, what about what Devin Nunes had to say over the weekend and all that has come out about Mueller's investigative team and the conflicts, as well as, of course, Christopher Wray's non-compliance with House subpoenas in particular?
It's cumulative. So in other words, the same type of attention that is now being drawn towards the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the reputational damage that they've brought on themselves is really significant. Think about the back and forth banter between the two of you a minute ago, where you were saying, well, it's ABC that's reporting it. Oh, it's CNN that's reporting it. The reputational damage when these entities don't follow through on the core mission that they're to do, that is with integrity, is really, really significant. In the same way, the reputational damage in terms of the sexual harassment claims, and now people are coming forward and these things are cumulative. So there is a discipline that's happening, and the discipline that's happening is the reputational damage that the FBI is under right now. So think about it. Mueller now comes out, at some point, he's going to come out with a report. Anything that is in that report is going to be looked at within the context of these claims of bias and so forth.
Well, and I've never felt this way before, but shouldn't President Trump fire Bob Mueller?
Yeah, that's a terrible choice that he's put in. You know what I mean? And it's a completely miserable situation. I heard Pete King, congressman from New York, interviewed, and he was urging that not to happen because his point was this thing is on the process of winding down. That is the collusion claims, as Devin Nunes said, because there's just not evidence there. But the thinking is if he fires Mueller now, then it becomes a whole new thing. So that's a decision that obviously the president is going to have to weigh and wrestle with. It's not a fun situation for the president of the United States to be in, however.
Yeah, I think Byron York has it right. He had an op-ed over the weekend in the Washington Examiner that firing him is disastrous because politically. But discrediting him is impeachment politics. And that's the same thing that the left tried to do to Ken Starr during his tenure as an independent investigator into the Clintons. And all of this that's being reported now is fact, and it's fair game, and it raises legitimate questions about Mueller. And frankly, if they can't clear the legitimacy, if they lose their legitimacy in the standing of the American public, then so will their findings. And so I think that's right. I think York's got it right, is continue to provide oversight, watch the watchmen, as it were.
Yeah, that's right. And that is a role that Congress can play and is playing. So this notion, the trouble is whenever you have an entity that can just act with impunity, you've got a problem. And what we've had up until now is, and you've seen it, you've seen it over and over and over again in different elements of public life as of late. Matt Lauer coming in, being sanctimonious beyond all measure on other people who've been accused of sexual harassment, for example, and then the tables are completely turned on him. So in this case, you've got investigators that have been very sanctimonious in their presentations of what they're doing, and it turns out their sleeves are not clean on this. At least that's how it's appearing.
All right, let's talk about the GOP tax plan. I heard rumblings that Susan Collins may not be on board, and that could be a problem.
There's rumblings. Yeah, I don't want to give a lot of traction to that because what we're doing as members of the House and members of the Senate who are on the conference to reconcile this is working through this process. So the good news is there's, the structures of the House bill and the structures around the Senate bill they're similar. So in other words, there's not some big new approach that we have that the Senate doesn't have and vice versa. That's the good news. The challenge now is doing the final reconciliation and bringing these to, complete harmony. And in some cases, they're different for a reason. We had one approach in the House. Senators had one approach. What I'm finding is that a number of these Senate provisions where there are distinctions, a number of the Senate provisions that differ than ours, it's based on one or two senators as opposed to a philosophical decision that the Senate made. It's a difference in the institutions, but that's all to say we're going to get this done. This is going to get signed into law by Christmas, and 2018 will be a good year.
All right, we talked to House Speaker Paul Ryan on the show last week, and he gave us the green light to pepper you about specifics because he didn't want to get into specifics. So he said pepper Peter with those, so that's what we're going to do.
Oh, that's right, pepper Peter.
So one of the big differences between the Senate and the House plan, repeal of the individual mandate in the Senate plan, not in the House plan. I assume the House would go along with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And our view is, as you know, the House has been able to repeal versions of Obamacare, anything that rhymes with Obamacare, dozens of times. And so while we had a real interest at the outset in repealing the individual mandate, our view was, look, don't build that into tax reform because the Senate has really underperformed in the past. If they surprise us and they get it out and get it done, great, then we can incorporate that. And so now they've gotten that accomplished, and we will wholeheartedly agree with that. It's a terrific idea. That's a pernicious thing. We got to get rid of it.
One more that's important, particularly for Illinois, and I know that you raised this issue right at the outset, and that's the state and local tax deduction and the property tax deduction, since basically if your home is worth more than $25,000, you're probably north of a $10,000 property tax bill, the way it's going in Illinois. And the House bill capped property tax deduction at $10,000. The Senate bill repeals the state and local tax deduction altogether. Where do you think that fleshes out?
we're going to prevail. I predict that we'll have the $10,000 deduction for property taxes. I think we're going to try, and also related to that is how do these rates interact in particular, and how do the brackets interact with folks at upper middle income ranges? And so what we're trying to do is to revisit the brackets to say, can we give more tax relief to more people who are situated in a district like I represent, and just be more sensitive on the overall tax burden. And like we talked about before, I think most people that I represent say, look, I want tax relief. I'm not particularly concerned about the equation by which that tax relief comes. But if you can show me that that my tax burden is going down and the economy is getting better, then I'm for that plan.
Yeah, just net it out that you get relief. But if you net it out for relief, then what about the bubble rate and the at the highest end in the House plan, that bubble rate that goes up to 45%, where the Senate stops at 38.5 in the highest bracket?
Yeah, so I think everybody's trying to get rid of the bubble rate. Ronald Reagan had a bubble rate in 1986. They're not great. And for those that are not familiar with a bubble rate, it's simply a marginal tax rate at the top end that goes up. It's not an effective tax rate increase, but it's a rate that goes up in a particular bubble of income. It's not good. It's not it's nothing to be celebrated. And what we're trying to do is improve the House bill and get rid of it.
All right. He is Peter Roskam. He is one of the House conferees on the tax reform plan that we've been discussing. Of course, Congressman from the Western Burbs, 6th District. Peter, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's called Medi-Share, and it's affordable biblical health care. And if you're wondering, what does that mean? Well, ask the people who are already members, like the Badger family. It's a big family, by the way.
We have 7 boys, 3 girls. We live out in the country. We homeschool.
And they thank God for Medi-Share, especially after one of their babies was born with spina bifida, and the total bill was about $250,000. Medi-Share members met the entire need and sent them cards and letters letting them know they're praying for them.
Medi-Share is, we love it. With myself being self-employed, owning my own business, Medi-Share was a great option as far as affordability. With Medi-Share, as far as like all of our stuff, it's always come through.
Yeah, more and more people are doing this, and you can see why. Hundreds of thousands of Christian believers sharing, and that is a beautiful thing. Find out more. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Just a quick update for you for that explosion in New York City. The president has been briefed on the explosion. Apparently, according to ABC and CNN, a pipe bomb went off at the Port Authority, which is where the buses and the trains meet. It's at 42nd and 8th Avenue. So one person injured, and what about somebody in custody?
Yeah, reports is one person in custody. I know we're not supposed to have fun. This is a serious matter, but we have a little fun. We've got an email from a listener. Brian Ross reports it's a suspect. The suspect is a Tea Party member of the Freedom Caucus who voted for Trump and is actively campaigning for Roy Moore.
Too soon. Hey, with the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Of course, I'm talking about the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer. It is back. And I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage by using the promo code AMY. The promo code AMY, A-M-Y. You'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my pillows. I get a great night's sleep. I move the fill to give me the support I need. I throw it in the washer and dryer when it gets dirty to fluff it up some more if I want. They're hypoallergenic. There's a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know that you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims, and they only use American labor because they're made in Minnesota. Get your buy 1, get 1 free offer. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code AMY, MyPillow.com, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code AMY.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Before I started taking this Balance of Nature, I had no energy. Since I've been taking this Balance of Nature, I have had the energy, and I just thank God. It's really been a blessing to me. Even my eyesight seems to be better because my other glasses I couldn't wear. it wasn't strong enough. But when I put the other glasses on, the one that was kind of weak, I could see so clear out of them. I said, what is this?
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Another update. The one person that was injured in the pipe bomb detonation in Times Square is a man. And then they also have another male in custody.
All right, we'll keep this updated, and obviously as Mike Scott will as well. But you know how this reporting goes in the wake of incidents like this. A lot of times it gets corrected, so we're going to try and exercise restraint to only pass on what we can confidently report to be true.
We can report that people are signing up to be business benefactors for our annual food drive with Food for the Poor. We're trying to feed, our goal this year is to feed 3,000 children for a year and provide clean water for life in places such as Haiti, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, and other Caribbean islands, places affected by the hurricanes. And we want to thank some of our business benefactors: Fathom Media, Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago, Bradford Systems, Joe Cotton Ford, Gennady Insurance, just to name a few. And what they did was make a one-time donation to Food for the Poor for $2,500, tax deductible. The money goes to Food for the Poor. And as a way of saying thanks, we have given them 40 60-second commercials. Dan could voice some of them. I can too. And you're really just doing something for someone else this holiday season. You can also make a one-time donation of $50 too. But to be a business benefactor, go to 560theanswer.com/food. And there's any questions you have, get in touch with Michael Mann. You could do that through the website or call Michael Mann personally. He is up. He is ready for your phone call. And his number is 847-871-1527. That's 847-871-1527. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The perfect Rachel Dolezal stocking stuffer, and 24 hours from that special election in Alabama, and Trump weighed in Friday night in Pensacola. We'll have it at 7:37.
And the robocall. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. For us, we've had some light snow showers this morning, 27 degrees. New York City police confirm one person is in custody following an explosion at New York City's Port Authority bus terminal. Reporter Christian Santana was on the scene early.
42nd Street is now blocked off, going all the way to 7th Avenue. As you know, the Port Authority is on 8th Avenue. There was a clear smell of an explosion, something like a firecracker, something you might smell as a kid.
Law enforcement tells the Associated Press what is believed to be an explosive device, perhaps a pipe bomb, was set off on the subway platform. The explosion occurred around 7:30 a.m. local time. While details are still developing, an arrest has been made. That person who was arrested has non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect, according to police, may have had the improvised explosive device go off in his hands. No immediate word of any other injuries. Firefighters in California still facing an uphill battle as the fifth largest blaze in the state's history continues to grow. Carpinteria homeowner Alfredo Mayo was forced to evacuate over the weekend when he woke up to find his neighbor's house on fire.
I'm nervous. We got to leave again. I mean, from what these guys are telling me, it might, it's like 50-50 chance.
The Thomas fire has grown to 230,000 acres. Containment this morning downgraded to 10%. A group of women who've accused President Trump of sexual misconduct holding a news conference today in New York City. Meantime, today is the last day of campaigning in the big Alabama Senate race, where Republican candidate Roy Moore continues to deny allegations of sexual misconduct, and the president increasingly becoming involved in the race for that seat.
Hi, this is President Donald Trump, and I need Alabama to go vote for Roy Moore. Roy Moore is the guy we need to pass our Make America Great Again agenda.
That's part of a Trump robocall. Price of Bitcoin is skyrocketing this morning, and now Bitcoin futures are officially trading, launching on the CBOE. And within hours, prices had jumped 10%, triggering a temporary trading halt. Two are in custody following a crash that involved a suspected stolen vehicle on Chicago's west side. Police say they spotted that stolen Prius last night near Washington and Wood. It had perhaps, according to police, been used in an armed robbery. One person ran out of that car, another drove off. Both were later arrested after the Prius crashed into a fence. Bond denied for a Chicago man accused of sexually assaulting a woman earlier this month. Chicago's Ukrainian Village neighborhood. Ricky Parkman appeared in court yesterday on charges of aggravated criminal sexual assault and robbery. Bears over the Bengals 33-7. Was the Blackhawks beating Arizona 3-1. Bulls back in action tonight, facing off against the Celtics. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Right now at Napa Auto Parts stores, you can get a 26-piece screwdriver set for only $19.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. While supplies last, offer ends 12/31/17. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The American taxpayer is still paying for any member of Congress who sexually harasses a staffer and then has to settle. Tell your member of Congress to pass a law now that should read like this. Congressmen must settle out of their own damn pocket.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
And finally, here's a way you can save time. Use Spot Hero anytime you park downtown. First-time users can enter promo code CITY for $10 off. Spot Hero. Park smarter.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
7:35. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's Expressway inbound heavy after a crash at Cicero. It is 28 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 30 after a crash at Oakton. Kennedy 53 minutes. O'Hare to downtown 30 from Montrose. 29 in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's an hour. 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson 54 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound 42. Ryan 26 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State jammed. Archer to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial slows 75th to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to Lake. The other tollways are okay. Traffic is a service of Panera Bread. Family and friends will like whatever you get them this holiday, but why not get them something they'll love? A Panera Bread gift card. For every $50 in gift cards purchased, get a $10 bonus card for yourself. Visit your local bakery cafe for more details. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Just a bit of snow this morning. A little heavier snow shower expected this afternoon, a high of 38. Currently 28 at O'Hare, 28 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Can we be done with this already? Come on now, Alabama, vote. Send Roy Moore to Washington. Let's get this thing done already. We'll talk about the latest when Freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, so did Gloria Allred seal Roy Moore's victory tomorrow? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You know what I'm talking about. One of Roy Moore's more high-profile accusers, Beverly Nelson, admitting that yearbook signature that was bandied about at the press conference by Gloria Allred that had two different handwriting styles, the repetition of Roy Moore's name. She admitted now, several weeks later, that she had added to Roy Moore's signature, according to her.
Yeah, she put the date 12/22, whatever year it was, 72, and then wrote where they were.
Mm-hmm.
When he signed it. But you can tell that the ink was different.
Yes.
And that's why, people are saying, let's get a handwriting analyst to make sure that this is Roy Moore's.
And Gloria Allred wanted to leverage that yearbook signature and inscription for a Senate hearing on the matter. Now with Miss Nelson's admission, she doesn't recant the whole story. She just adds to that yearbook inscription. She's sort of been discredited, I would say, when you forge a signature or you forge an inscription in part and then you commit a fraud by not disclosing it as you using it as a piece of evidence to corroborate your story. It sort of discredits you, doesn't it?
Sort of. I think everything she says now is a lie. I don't trust her. I left Gloria Allred a message and wrote her an email because sloppy work on her part, real sloppy.
At best, it's
it
sloppy
could be
work.
fraudulent. I mean, seriously, for her to get up there and say, "Look at this yearbook," and that's his, and part of it's a fallacy. It's wrong. But here's the deal. She came out on Good Morning America on a Friday because if you want to kind of slip something in there but not make a major headline, that's the time to do it.
Well,
and the reporter, Tom Yaman, I think I'm saying his name right, didn't even bring it up until halfway through the report.
Nelson says she did make notes to the inscription, but the message was all Roy Moore.
Beverly, he signed your yearbook.
He did sign it.
And you made some notes underneath.
Yes.
I mean, they're acting like it's not even a big deal. Buried it in the third track of the piece and just said, well, he signed it, though, right? But you just added notes.
Mm-hmm.
If I was covering that story, that would be the big bombshell, the lead. It was a lie. That'd be my first line of the track.
So, well, there's no question that really damages her credibility. She didn't recant the underlying allegations of Roy Moore's alleged advances. This also doesn't speak to the other Roy Moore accusers, but it certainly undermines her credibility.
I mean, just listen to Beverly Nelson.
It sickens me to wonder what may go on with him if he gets into office, maybe. You know, he could be doing this still.
Oh,
we don't know.
Yeah, but
I mean, do you really think that Roy Moore is conducting in behavior like this?
Well, here's the thing about this, too. We don't know if she did that on advice of counsel. I mean, Gloria Allred is slimy, and so is her daughter, Lisa Bloom. And it's been a tough couple of months for the two of them now combined. And so we don't know if she disclosed that to Gloria Allred, and Gloria Allred said, don't say a word about it. Let me handle it. Mm-hmm. And now she's been put in a bad position where she's damaged her credibility, and Gloria Allred has her go out there and fall on a sword. I don't know. Regardless, her credibility is irreparably damaged as it pertains to Roy Moore, but she's not the only one. The real question is, look, if you're an Alabama voter and you're going to vote for Roy Moore because essentially of what Trump said in Pensacola, do you worry at all with the Democrats purging their bad actors, Conyers and Franken, and who knows the fate of Alcee Hastings, the latest disclosure, $220,000 sexual harassment settlement, longtime congressman from Florida. And there are a couple on the Republican side, too. Obviously, Trent Franks is gone. There's the guy from Texas who had a sexual harassment, Blake, what's his name? Farenthold or something.
He's staying. Right?
So far, he had a sexual harassment settlement. So is this going to be a race to purge?
Well, yeah, who's taking the moral ground quicker?
Right. So is it going to be a race to purge your bad actors or your accused in your party? And if that's to get to that moral high ground politically, which is to say it's not moral high ground, but it's an angle in for the 2018 election, are you concerned that Roy Moore, a victorious Roy Moore tomorrow, becomes an albatross around the Republican Party's neck and could be successfully used by Democrats to retake the House, to retake the Senate, to hamstring Trump for the final 2 years of his first term?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Now, to be fair, Trump isn't concerned at all because in Pensacola on Friday night, he made it clear that you're to vote for Roy Moore.
The future of this country cannot afford to lose a seat in the very, very close United States Senate. We can't afford it, folks. We can't. So get out and vote for Roy Moore.
Yeah.
And if you live in Alabama and your phone rings this morning, it might be President Trump.
Hi, this is President Donald Trump, and I need Alabama to go vote for Roy Moore. It is so important. We're already making America great again. I'm going to make America safer and stronger and better than ever before. But we need that seat. We need Roy voting for us.
Now, an alternative perspective on Roy Moore and the implications of a Roy Moore victory came from New York Times columnist David Brooks over the weekend on Meet the Press. Now, I understand David Brooks, Obama's favorite Republican, so that tells you everything you need to know. But nonetheless, here's what he contends will be the result of a Roy Moore victory.
A temporary vote for the Supreme Court justice for a tax cut, but for a generation, you're repulsive. You're repulsive to younger people. 28% of millennials think the Republican Party cares about them. That's just a generational problem. You're repulsive to people of color forever. And so you end up not only making yourself unpopular, but sort of corrupting a piece of yourself.
David Brooks' comment on his perspective. Is this something that is kind of playing the game of moral relativism? We need a Republican. The Republican is better than the Democrat. It's just a means to policy ends. So whether I believe the accusers or not, we make the Machiavellian choice to go with Roy Moore in the interests of the Senate Republican majority and Trump's agenda in the short term. And I mean, perhaps only a year if the Democrats are successful at what it seems fairly clear they aim to do. I mean, I don't think that you had all those Democrat senators push out Al Franken as detestable, as much of a detestable celebutant goof as he is. I still don't think you had him do that without an eye towards the politics. Because remember, for the left, it's always about power.
Right. And he wasn't resigning, but the night before, Chuck Schumer had him over and had Al Franken and his wife over at his D.C. apartment and laid down the law like, you are going to do this. Because Al Franken, his fists were clutched. He said I so many times. He wasn't contrite. He wasn't apologetic. That was an angry man up there.
No, he didn't want to go.
He did not want to go.
That's clear. I mean,
he said the word I 62 times.
Well, and what did he say, right? I mean, it's ironic that I have to go and Trump doesn't, right? I mean, that's not
Roy Moore is going to be coming here on Wednesday, and I'll on my way out.
Right.
But wait, he hasn't resigned yet.
Yeah, but so Al Franken got the window.
Yeah.
Conyers got the stairs. But some others may take the stairs too. Trent Franks took the stairs rather than be thrown out the window. But this is an effort to purge, and frankly, we're still in the process of unearthing all of these sexual harassment settlements with respect to that $15 million slush fund that's been reported. So there's a drip, drip, drip. There may be more coming.
There's got to be, because where'd all the $15 million go?
And here's the other thing.
Ladies.
Here's the other thing about Roy Moore. It's not just Roy Moore being elected. And then, Roy Moore sits quietly in the Senate for at least through the midterms. It's, Roy Moore is, I suspect, will, if he wins tomorrow, and I suspect he will, thanks in part to Gloria Allred and to Al Franken and to John Conyers, and then I think he's going to have a sense of vindication, and I think he is going to be outspoken as a senator. Who is going to shut Roy Moore up? The Senate Republicans who didn't support him? I mean, Richard Shelby, his senior senator from Alabama, who said this?
Well, I'd rather see the Republican win, but I hope that Republican would be a write-in. I couldn't vote for Roy Moore. I didn't vote for Roy Moore, but I wrote in a distinguished Republican name, and I think a lot of people could do that. Will they do it? I'm not sure. The state of Alabama deserves better. I think we've got a lot of great Republicans that could have won and carried the state beautifully and served in the Senate honorably.
This is just the theater of politics. I mean, we're saying I wrote in somebody and then not saying who that somebody is.
And hoping a write-in, the undisclosed write-in is going to win the election, obviously. But Shelby's underlying point, I'm not voting for Roy Moore. Tim Scott and other Republican senators have previously called on him to step down. So will we see a Senator Roy Moore who is defiant and outspoken and a nagging political problem for the Republicans going into 2018? I'm asking the political question here about the impact of a Roy Moore victory, not, does the left not have any moral high ground on these issues? I concede the point the left has no moral high ground, but I'm asking the political question as it pertains to House and Senate Republican majorities and the Trump policy agenda. Mark in Plainfield.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know what? The millennials will start voting Republicans as soon as they move out of mommy's basement and start paying taxes. I'm not worried a bit about this election. If asking out a high school girl with a crime, Jerry Seinfeld would be in jail or at least off the air. And did anyone ever see what this 14-year-old girl looked like? And if she was 5'5" with full C's, which, by the way, was the name of my high school band,
Jeez.
That's a full-grown woman, not a little girl.
Girls develop quicker than boys. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Mark. 14 is 14, my friend.
Sorry, can't get around it. But
boy.
you did tell him to stop, and he stopped, and he drove her home. I don't know.
Scott on the west side.
Oh, bad.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I think the whole thing on this Al Franken thing is that he hasn't resigned, and he said he's going to resign. It seems to me that they have something up their sleeve. They have an alternative plan, and we just don't know what it is yet.
Thanks for the call, Scott. I think Franken is gone.
I don't know.
Franken
he hasn't
is gone.
resigned yet.
It's a matter of time. He's gone. What, he's going to make some kind of comeback?
He might.
What does that look like?
He might be defiant.
What does that look like? I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold your ground, Al.
Oh, please. Please hold your ground.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes that speech on the Senate floor if he doesn't intend to go. Tim in Naperville.
Hey, Dan and Amy, love your show. It sounds like all politics to me, but I got to tell you, any party with Bill and Hillary Clinton in their closet for 25 years and their sordid history, that's going to be a tough sell to take the moral high ground.
Well, that's yeah.
Thanks. I'll wait for your comment.
Thanks, Tim. I mean, yeah, and that's what the left is trying to do. They're trying to purge their past defenses of Hillary Clinton. That's why you've had all these think pieces in Vox and The Atlantic over the weekend. Over the last couple of weeks, I should say. Bill Clinton should have resigned. Bill Clinton should have been impeached. I do believe Juanita Broaddrick. The left is trying to make amends for everything they did to prop up and defend the Clintons, and now they're trying to make amends in real time to get rid of bad actors within their party. It's all for the purposes of being able to zero in on Trump and anybody else who's a bad actor in the Republican Party or an alleged bad actor that isn't otherwise reckoned with, that they can use as a whipping post for their
And they want to maintain their female base.
their elections.
I mean, they do.
Well, that's right.
The Democrats need the females. And they're supposed to be the party of the women.
Of course.
The champion for women.
Tom in Schaumburg.
Hey, if Al Franken doesn't want to quit, all he has to do is join the other party. We'd be happy to have his vote. Secondly, I don't put a lot of credibility. I don't put a lot of credibility in any of these October surprises, and neither does Donald Trump, and that's what's driving the Democrats crazy. They expected him to be like a Jeb Bush or something, just cower in the corner, and he's not doing it, and everybody's happy about it. So let the Democrats let the Democrats whine and pout about what's happening, because it's just going to continue happening. We're not giving up, and that's all I got to say on this.
All right, thanks for the call, Tom. The December surprise turned out to be for the benefit of Roy Moore. That is the Beverly Nelson's disclosure that she made a notation on that inscription in the yearbook.
I still can't believe they just buried that in the story. Just snuck that in there.
Ed and LaGrange.
Well, a couple of things. That Beverly Nelson's disclosure, I think that goes more to the weight of her story than to its admissibility. If it's his signature, you need to have some context. But another point is, Scott made a point earlier. I think they're going to set Franklin up to run for president in 2020.
No.
We took the high ground. Well, then, Dan, 3 years is a lifetime in politics.
No. Al Franken is done in politics.
Yeah.
You know what? I write it down and say I bet he'll come back and run against Trump.
All right, thanks for the call, Ed.
But you already have Rahm Emanuel running. What about Luis Gutierrez El Gallito?
Well, I mean, the front runners are going to be someone like Kamala Harris, the senator from California. I mean, maybe Bernie goes again.
What about Elizabeth Warren?
Well, you're going to have 15 or 20 people.
Okay.
But Al Franken is not going to be one of them, or if he is, he's not going to be one of the viable candidates. Nick in Chicago.
Good morning, Dan Manini. Here's my question. With Roy Moore, I mean, the timing just stinks with 40 years and then now. But if he did something illegal, let the process work out, the legal process, and then let that take care. As far as Franken, if he leaves office, is he liable with his own money if they sue him? And if he stays in and they sue him, does that come from the slush fund?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the call, Nick. I don't think, the accusers, these are all in the relatively distant past. I don't know that there are any accusers that would have the standing to sue him at this point. So I don't think that's what's right.
Or the evidence.
Yeah, right. It's an allegation other than the photographic evidence of that
Tune in Tokyo.
tweeting at USO, yeah.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-694-7394. 800-694-7394. That's 800-694-7394.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
You know what? They do make me feel better. I really do. Like, it has helped me a lot. It gives me energy. they're working out for me, and so I'm really, really happy.
When I first started taking it, someone mentioned my my skin, and that was like within like the first couple of weeks, and I thought, wow.
I feel like $1 million. Really love the product. I gotta tell you, I don't no longer have those energy lows at 4 o'clock when I'm falling asleep. I am doing things I ordinarily would not do.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
To help explain how fast it is to make Bob Evans original mashed potatoes, here are a few things you'll never need again. 1, a potato peeler. What is this, the Navy? 2, Grandma's recipe. She's gonna be so mad. 3, patience. What's that? Because Bob Evans original mashed potatoes are made with whole milk, real butter, and are ready in just 6 minutes. For rich, homemade taste for the whole family, find Bob Evans in the refrigerated section of your grocery store. It's farm fresh goodness, full of flavor.
Bob Evans down on the farm.
You're up before dark 30. You don't ask for medals or even a pat on the back. But if all your hard work is indeed its own reward, then consider the new Ram Limited Tungsten Edition as a bonus. Natura Plus leather seating, premium projector headlamps, suede headliner, packaged in the highly capable, hard-working truck you'd expect from Ram. Keep doing what you do, but who says you can't do it in a nicer truck? The new Ram Limited Tungsten, the most luxurious Ram truck ever. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
AM 560, The Answer.
'Tis the season for giving, and once again, we've teamed up with, as you know, Food for the Poor. They're a wonderful, wonderful organization. 95 cents of every dollar raised goes directly to those people in need, particularly children in Haiti and Guatemala and in Puerto Rico. They're in Puerto Rico right now, helping out there. We're asking for a one-time donation of $50, so go to foodforthepoor. Go to am560theanswer.com/food and make a donation. But you can also become a business benefactor, Dan.
That's exactly right. You sure can, like these other donor leaders in the business community. Fathom Media, Midwest Companies, Dentistry for All Ages, KP Toffee, Joe Cotton Ford, Cafe Salsa and Countryside, the Neuroscience Center, Bradford Systems, Chicagoland Mold Docs, Twin Supplies, Elgin Recycling, so many others. We appreciate their generosity. How do you join them in the Business Benefactor Program? Easy. $2,500 tax-deductible gift to Food for the Poor. And in return for your gratitude, we're going to provide 40 60-second commercials for you to promote your business on our airwaves. Prime broadcasting hours, Monday through Friday. All you do is call Michael Mann, 847-871-1527. He's our sales manager, 847-871-1527, Michael Mann, or go to that same website that Amy previously mentioned. 560theanswer.com/food, 560theanswer.com/food, and you can enroll that way.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, our big announcement. We are heading on a trip, our passport to paradise, where we're going and how you could join us coming up.
And should Bruce Rauner agree to debates with his primary opponent, Jeannie Ives? We'll ask Republican State Representative Dave McSweeney at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
One person in custody following an explosion at the New York City Port Authority bus terminal. Fox with the latest details on the developing story for you in just a moment. 3 are dead and 6 wounded in Chicago area shootings. Minnesota tourists are charged with lying about a Chicago robbery, and IDOT looking for your input. Nice Sunday for the Bears as they pound the Bengals. Blackhawks beat the Coyotes in a bit of snow this morning. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. An explosion in New York City. I'm Dave Anthony. Leading to a massive police and fire response happened at a busy subway station in the middle of the morning rush hour near Times Square. There's only one injury reported to a man now in custody. Fox's Brett Larson live near the 42nd Street 8th Avenue station.
That's right, Dave. Law enforcement officials saying that man in custody is from Brooklyn and had the explosive device strapped to him earlier. When it went off, he is injured and in custody. One other injury that we know of being reported, although it is non-life-threatening. On scene now, about a block away from the Port Authority. It is organized chaos this morning. There are several blocks of emergency response vehicles, police and fire on the scene, tactical police officers here, and a big shutdown during the morning rush hour, which will certainly put a crimp in the plans of literally 250,000 commuters this morning in New York City. In Midtown Manhattan, Brett Larson, Fox News.
A 270-square-mile wildfire keeps spreading in Southern California, whipped up by winds moving from Ventura to Santa Barbara County near some wealthy celebrity homes.
Please do what you can now to prepare to evacuate either yourselves and your family members and get them out of harm's way.
Sheriff Bill Brown, that fire's already burned down nearly 800 houses and buildings. Other wildfires south of there destroyed more than 100 homes. Phones are ringing in Alabama. President Trump making robocalls supporting Roy Moore the day before the special Senate election.
We need Roy to help us with the Republican Senate. We will win and we will make America great again.
Moore had a low-profile weekend, still denying all the claims of sexual misconduct against him. Democrat Doug Jones says,
"What kind of public servant hides and goes only into enclaves and doesn't address the media? I'm going to be as accessible after this election as I am now."
The Golden Globe nominations just out. The Shape of Water has the most with 7. Fox News, fair and balanced.
29 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 are in custody following a crash that involved a suspected stolen vehicle. It happened on Chicago's near west side overnight near Washington and Wood. Police say there have been 2 arrests. Chicago police are once again trying to play catch up after a violent weekend. 3 were killed, 6 others wounded in shootings between Saturday and Sunday night. Chicago police saying a man and woman from suburban Minneapolis falsely claimed they were robbed at knife point of a $12,000 engagement ring and other items. Authorities say over the weekend the couple, both 27, now face a felony charge of disorderly conduct. They say they were held up on Lower Wacker Thursday. Police on Sunday said the couple later admitted they made up that story. A man has been sentenced to 100 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 63-year-old suburban Chicago woman in 1999. 41-year-old Roberto Noyola Espinal was convicted of home invasion and aggravated criminal sexual assault thanks to a DNA sample he gave years after the crime. In 2013, Espinal was arrested in Houston when he tried to re-enter the U.S. illegally from Mexico. Bears end a 5-game losing skid, routing Cincinnati 33-7. Jordan Howard, a pair of scores and 147 yards on the ground. Corey Crawford, 31 saves, as the Blackhawks were 3-1 winners over Arizona. Cubs bolster their bullpen. Northsiders apparently agreeing to a 2-year deal with relief pitcher Brandon Morrow. Bulls take on the Celtics tonight. The news service of Panera Bread. Family and friends will like whatever you get them this holiday, but why not get them something they'll love? A Panera Bread gift card. For every $50 in gift cards purchased, get a $10 bonus card for yourself. Visit your local bakery cafe for more details. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, 2 major hospital operators are working on a merger, Ascension and Providence St. Joseph Health. If they merge, the new company would include 191 hospitals in 27 states. Kurt LaBelle of Global Health Investment Fund says there could be some benefits to you in the deal.
Well, I think it can mean a number of things for patients. I think the main concern that folks have with patients is that if there are fewer providers out there, then they'll have fewer choices. But in the long run, what we hope to see is that these consolidations can lead to better pricing overall.
The merger would create the nation's largest hospital business, the title currently held by HCA Healthcare. Today is Green Monday, an online shopping day created by eBay 10 years ago. eBay says it will have new deals every hour. Other sites are joining, including Target, Best Buy, and Walmart. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families.
but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges and Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Life happens. With ADT, you can feel safe with an ADT starter kit professionally installed for only $49. Call today and install an ADT starter kit that includes security panel, keypad, key fob, entry and motion sensors, and for a limited time, get a camera included and installed at no additional cost. That's a $449 value installed for just $49.
Requires 36-month monitoring contract, QSB and EasyPay. Activation and early term fees may apply. Certain marks excluded. License available at ADT.com, Florida EF 001121, Louisiana F1639.
It's 8:07 and a check of your morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound. It's heavy. Foster to the Burn Circle. It's 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 34 from Montrose. 31 on the Express. Outbound 23 minutes to Montrose and 48 to the airport. The Edens is 23 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy. Outbound it's 37. The Eisenhower, 57 minutes, 390 to downtown, 43 from Mannheim. Outbound, it's 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 42 minutes. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Near the Skyway, there's a car fire blocking 2 left lanes. Lakeshore Drive, southbound heavy Montrose to North Avenue. Northbound 18th Drive to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State slow 21 to Bradley. Northbound Archer to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. The Adams and Reagan Tollways look good. Northbound Veterans Memorial. Delays are from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway and from the Army Trail Toll to Lake. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Early morning snow being followed by a couple of late afternoon and early evening snow showers. High today, 40, then tonight, rather cloudy and breezy. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour, low 18. Partly sunny, breezy tomorrow, high 25. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 28 at O'Hare. Your next news comes up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, we have our annual trip coming up. It's been cemented, and we're pleased to roll it out today. What is it?
Well, it's that time of year again when cold and snow in Chicago, but it's always warm and sunny in, are you ready? Drum roll. In Riviera Maya, Mexico. That's where we will be heading in 2018 with Apple Vacations, and you're invited to come along with us. We'll be staying at this place. Are you ready? The Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa in Riviera Maya, Mexico.
And I know someone who won't be joining us. That's Mario Batali, who is taking a leave from Italy and his restaurant empire because of accusations of habitual sexual harassment. Mario Batali, the next man down. Just thought I'd,
Okay, well,
maybe he'll beat us to Riviera Maya.
Right.
We're heading there in 2018 with Apple Vacations. You're invited to come along with us. We'll be at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Restaurant and Spa in Riviera Maya.
Or resort, but restaurant's fine.
Did I say restaurant?
Yeah, because
I
you're
got
thinking
Italy
of
on my
Mario.
mind. Resort and Spa in Riviera Maya, Mexico, of course. 9 gourmet restaurants. There's the restaurant.
There you go.
Italy, not one of them. 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks, 24-hour room service. Beautiful, unlimited luxury, adults-only resort situated on Maroma Beach, recognized as one of the world's best beaches.
Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com/passport. Now, the price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is really incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time because I remember a lot of my friends tried to go with us last year, but the trip was sold out. This sells out every year, so don't miss out. Enjoy a week in Riviera Maya, Mexico with us, Dan and Amy. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport.
All right, switching gears, we have to do some state and local stuff. And by the way, before we get to the governor's race and joined by State Representative Dave McSweeney, a Republican from Barrington, did you see this? Bob Miller. We reported on Bob Miller extensively. He was the former Algonquin Township Highway Commissioner up in McHenry County.
Yeah, and they made those videos because, they really were bored at work, and they put them on YouTube.
A family in that post for 50 years was using the Highway Commissioner's office in Algonquin Township in McHenry County as like a personal piggy bank for his family, $400,000 worth of salary for Miller and family members.
Oh, my gosh.
He gets beat in the primary, the primary election in the municipal elections earlier this year by Andrew Gosser, and thankfully so, and in no small measure to our reporting at McHenryTimes.com. And is, going to get paid out his pension. By the way, he's under criminal investigation, I understand, for the way that he ran the Algonquin Township Highway Department. Now he's an employee of Nunda Township, also in McHenry County, making $40 an hour as a consultant.
Oh.
Yeah.
40 consulting for what?
Consulting for the township. I mean, it's unbelievable. This is Illinois.
Wow.
He was Algonquin Township Highway Commissioner for 24 years, and his father and grandfather and great-grandfather and great-great-great-grandfather, going back to the founding of our country, basically. He also, on the way out the door, purchases, including tickets to Disneyland, $47,000 payout for sick pay. I mean, it's just incredible. Edgar County Watchdogs has been on this story, too. And the suggestion is that there are law enforcement authorities looking into his conduct as Algonquin Township Highway Commissioner. What the hell is Nunda Township thinking about by hiring him as a consultant at this point? I mean, it just never ends in this state, which is why people end their tenure living in this state. All right, governor's race. Bruce Rauner peppered with questions last week after Jeannie Ives' announcement that she will challenge him in the Republican nomination for governor. Jeannie Ives, state rep from Wheaton. He would not commit to debates, so that issue is being pressed. And then this memo that surfaced on Friday. This was rather interesting. From Rauner's former general counsel, which provided a lot of detailed advice and counsel on the use of state resources for political purposes. We had a couple of governors go to prison in part for using state resources for politics. And the implication is that that was ongoing in Governor Rauner's office, or at least there was a desire for it to occur, thus necessitating this memo from his former general counsel named Dennis Marashko, who wrote this memo. It was announced that he was going to leave the end of August. He ultimately got escorted out of the Thompson Center before the end of August. It's all very curious, and the governor's office isn't saying much, so maybe we could get some inside insight from State Representative David McSweeney, Republican legislator from Barrington. Dave, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Dan.
So why don't we start with the Marashko memo, and why don't you tell us, as state legislator now for a few terms, how you read that memo and the context surrounding it. What do we have here?
On August 21st, Marasco, the general counsel to the governor at that point, wrote a memo calling for complete independence of the governor's office from the political operation. On August 23rd, he resigned. On August 24th, the governor told his staff that that was not true, that Marasco is still there. And on August 25th, he was escorted out of the building. The strange thing is there have been stories that there is an EOIG investigation that the administration won't confirm. You might have seen that famous clip of Marianne Ahern asking the governor multiple times about this situation, and he just wouldn't answer the question, as usual with this governor. My concern is that Marasco has raised some serious issues and concerns. He didn't go into detail about practices in the past, and I support Jeannie Ives' call for an EOIG full investigation of what the background for the memo is and whether there's anything else going on in this Marasco situation. Even this morning, there was a story in Politico that the administration won't answer the questions. The only thing that they'll say is that he resigned, which is not consistent with the timeline. But this is business as usual with the Rauner administration. Very secretive, not providing answers, and that's why we need Jeannie Ives as governor, frankly. We have a governor who's not in charge of the state. He admitted the last week, and that's very clear to all of us who've been down in Springfield.
Yeah, he's not in charge. But, I mean, the fact that he's not...
He told us, Amy.
I know, I heard. People in the National Guard like, well, he's not in charge. Who's in charge?
You look like it's a legislator like Jeannie Ives, who's fought for lower taxes, less spending. I know that she's going to be in charge. That's why I support her. And in a strange way, the biggest Madigan ally in Springfield is Bruce Rauner. Dan and I worked for a long time outside of his radio job to defeat the progressive income tax. That was when there were 71 Democrats if Heckman was governor. We get Bruce Rauner as governor. He talks about a tax increase for 2 years, begging for it, calling it capital compromise. We ended up with a 32% increase in income tax hike. Bruce Rauner worked hand in hand with Madigan on making Illinois a sanctuary state. And guess who signed Madigan's abortion bill, providing for taxpayer funding of abortions through the 9th month of pregnancy? So Bruce Rauner's the kind of guy who loves to go out and criticize people, call people names, but when push comes to shove, he's been Madigan's biggest ally, and that's why we need real change in the state, and that's why Jeannie Ives will be good governor.
And so Rauner is, making everything him versus Madigan, right? And he's ultimately he'll have to address Pritzker, whoever the Democrat nominee is, more substantively as well. But it's, him fighting the good fight against Madigan. You're suggesting that the evidence doesn't back up that claim. And there was another flap. This is a little bit below the fold, but it's still important, and it may be illustrative of the point that you're making. This is about the chief procurement officer to monitor dealings with Medicaid services. And there was some back and forth between you and the governor's office about the nature of this procurement officer and how independent this person is as it pertains to something as important as oversight of the state's Medicaid program.
Steve Rauschenberger is a good friend of both of ours, Dan, as you know. He's been saying for years that we need to address Medicaid spending. And he's right. That's 22% of the budget. Pensions are about 21%. If you don't address pensions and Medicaid, you can't address the budget deficit in this state. So I have been very, very interested in following this procurement process for new Medicaid providers. And it's been a complete lack of transparency. And specifically, one of the items is that the Rauner administration hired McKinsey, a consulting firm, $12.5 million no-bid contract. The governor on November 30th said that there was a competitive bid, even though it was outside the process. So I went to the hearing last week. I asked about that. The head of the agency said there has been no bidding, so she said the governor's information was incorrect. Then the governor said that the chief procurement officer who voided the contract because it was a no-bid contract is controlled by Madigan, and there's absolutely no evidence of that. Madigan creates a lot of problems in the state, no doubt about that. What I don't understand is why isn't the governor being transparent about Medicaid, about his no-bid contract? Why isn't he being transparent about what his projections are for Medicaid? No numbers have been provided. That's one of the things that now they have promised. We'll see if we get them. We're going to start writing letters every day. But it's just another example that the governor is absolutely right. Again, the worst Republican governor in America, according to the National Review. He's not in charge, and this is just another example of it.
And on this point, it turns out Capital Facts was reporting, which is kind of like an industry newsletter and blog, that Rauner's chief counsel in 2015 actually recommended the procurement officer who now Rauner is suggesting is controlled by Madigan. So it seems like whenever Rauner gets in trouble or is shown to have said one thing and done another, or said one thing and then said the opposite thing, he just says, well, Madigan, as his kind of as his cover story, his alibi for his either, change of heart or hypocrisy or incompetence.
Absolutely. And it turned out Jason Barkley, the general counsel who worked for Mitch Daniels, I wish actually Bruce Rauner governed like Mitch Daniels, by the way, he recommended this person. So the governor clearly didn't tell the truth on the situation. And, on the Madigan issue, he hasn't met with him for a year. One of the things you've been saying, Dan, I've followed over the years, is Madigan is just a man. He doesn't have superpowers. He's not smarter than anybody else. And Bruce Rauner every day makes Madigan out to be a god. He's increasing Madigan's power. And he refuses to deal with them. I think Peter Breen's letter after Rauner signed the abortion bill that destroyed Henry Hyde's legacy, wrote probably one of the greatest documents I've ever read in politics, just took down Rauner. And I think he's scared of Madigan, obviously. He blames him for things, but then he won't engage with them. That's why I think Jeannie Ives will be a great governor. Hopefully we pick up the 9 seats. That's the most important thing, so we take control. But if Madigan is still Speaker, can you imagine Jeannie Ives in Madigan's office? Madigan's eating his apple every day for lunch. Jeannie respectfully but strongly advocating for what we believe in. That's what we need. We need an active governor who's not scared and intimidated by Michael Madigan, who doesn't act as Michael Madigan's agent like Bruce Rauner. Sanctuary state, tax increase, abortion on demand paid for taxpayers. That's why it's so important that Jeannie wins this race.
Well, and it also says a lot about him as a man and a governor if he won't debate her. I mean, that is, I can't even imagine. Even Todd Stroger debated, wasn't it
Tony Perica.
Perica.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that. I think it's a responsibility to the voters to have a debate.
Well, Amy, if Rauner is intimidated by Michael Madigan, he sure is going to be intimidated by Jeannie Ives. I mean, Jeannie's tough. I mean, that's what I like. That's why I support her. And I like Jeannie because she always is straight. I don't agree with her on everything. We probably agree on 95% of the issues, but when she doesn't, she'll come and talk to me, and we'll call, and she'll be very, very direct about it. Rauner doesn't like direct people. I think that she would absolutely destroy him in a debate. I think that he's scared to debate Jeannie Ives.
Yeah, I can tell you from my interactions with him, you're right. He doesn't like direct people. He just kind of sits there and says nothing. He's kind of likes to play Pontius Pilate when there's controversy, not lead. But let me ask you this question. It's a political question because, of course, the governor's people are suggesting, look, Jeannie Ives is a fringe candidate. She can't win. I'm the inevitable nominee, and I'm the only chance we have to defeat the Democrats because I have the big checkbook. He's not saying because I have the big checkbook, but he's saying because I've taken on Madigan, blah, blah, blah. But it's really because of the checkbook. And that's persuasive to a lot of establishment Republicans who can't seem to get out of get off the hamster wheel of continuing to do the same things we've been doing for the last 20 years in the super minority. But how do you respond to that? The idea that Jeannie Ives doesn't have a chance. Rauner's contention, she's a fringe candidate. She can't win. She can't win the primary. She can't win the general.
Well, the fringe candidate is Bruce Rauner. Again, let me be clear. He actually absolutely destroyed Henry Hyde's legacy. We have abortion on demand paid for by taxpayers to the 9th month of pregnancy. Illinois is a sanctuary state. He hates President Trump. He won't even say his name. And he's responsible for the tax hike he promoted for a few years. So the fringe candidate is Bruce Rauner. He can't win a general election. He stands for nothing. I'm a Reagan guy, as you know, and you need to stand on what we believe. I think Jeannie is a military veteran, as a conservative leader, as a strong person, will be able to stand up to Pritzker and Berrios and all the tax increasers. I mean, people are sick and tired, as you know, of the tax increases in this state. Jeannie will run as an anti-tax conservative who will reform this state. That is much better than a wishy-washy person like Rauner, the worst Republican governor in America, who's raised taxes. They don't like a sanctuary state, and we have abortion on demand through the 9th month of pregnancy. He can't win. Jeannie can.
He is State Representative David McSweeney, conservative Republican legislator from Barrington. David, thanks, as always, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much. Bye.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Business owners, it's likely you're working on your business plan for 2018, budgeting for different departments, or considering where to grow your revenue. It's going to be a busy new year. Have you included your IT infrastructure, network security, and your IT help desk and support? You know, IT can be one of those things that's out of sight and out of mind until there's a problem and everything comes to a screeching halt. Your IT systems are the backbone of your business and what makes everything run smoothly. And Turnkey IT is the company that makes sure your business doesn't miss a beat. Make 2018 the year to improve your network hardware, get into the cloud, and most importantly, get prompt, courteous, local customer support for your systems. Ready for a new and better year for your business? Start with a visit from your friendly, neighborhood trusted IT advisors at Turnkey IT, so you can concentrate on your business and not the technical stuff. Is your IT ready for 2018? Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It must be it's time for Pajamagram.
Oh, you know it, Dan. And what's hot this year, you ask? The world's softest flannel pajamas. Oh, yeah. The last minute runs to the mall. No more. This year, get her what you know she wants. It's huggable. It's snuggable. It's flannel sleepwear. The world's softest flannel pajamas are available exclusively at Pajamagram.com. Now, the comfort experts at Pajamagram have reinvented flannel with a refined feel that's softer than a bunny, cozier than cashmere, and sexier than silk. If she's never had the world's softest experience, she's in for a Christmas treat with a smooth, brushed texture. Wow, and premium lightweight warmth. Whoa, where do I sign up? Well, you go to Pajamagram.com.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, Pajamagram.com. Tell them Dan and Amy sent you, or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Now, we have to mention that you don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging and Christmas Day delivery guaranteed. Go to Pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs and tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour, and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America right now for your free consultation. Call 800-960-0303. 800-960-0303. That's 800-960-0303.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing much more than just a rate. Let me ask you, does calling the company with the best client service in America, with 11 J.D. Power Awards to prove it, matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative, client-focused technology, matter? Does calling the company with 17,000-plus team members who are helping to rebuild the great cities of Detroit and Cleveland matter? Of course it matters. No wonder our clients have made Quicken Loans America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
AM 560, The Answer.
We're expecting an update from New York City on that explosion at the Port Authority. So Mike Scott, I'm sure, will have it in his newscast, and we'll pick it up as well.
But we really want to quickly tell you about our business benefactor program, because we've teamed up with Food for the Poor, and a $2,500 tax-deductible donation. The money goes to Food for the Poor, and we give you 40 60-second commercials to be aired right here on AM 560. Our thanks to the Neuroscience Center, Elgin Recycling, Twin Supplies. The list goes on, but the list always fills up fast. So do it today. Call Michael Mann with any questions, 847-871-1527. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Another big dud that was supposed to be a CNN bombshell. That's at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 4 are hurt, according to New York City police. A suspected suicide bomber is in custody following a pipe bomb explosion at New York's Port Authority bus terminal in Midtown Manhattan. Police say he had wires attached to his body, and the bomb went off either prematurely or simply malfunctioned around 7:30 local time in New York City at the entrance to a subway platform. Former NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton said moments ago not much more will be known for a time about that explosive device.
Intended as to whether the device malfunctioned or didn't function correctly. That'll have to be determined.
Some subway service has been suspended. The area has been evacuated. President Trump pushing hard to get Republican candidate Roy Moore the victory tomorrow in Alabama's Senate race. Trump is the voice behind a robocall backing Moore that began running yesterday. Several women who have accused the president of sexual misconduct will speak publicly at a news conference later this morning around 9:30 in New York City. Firefighters in California have their work cut out for them as the 5th largest blaze in the state's history continues to grow. The Thomas Fire has grown to 230,000 acres, and meteorologist Bill Cairns says Mother Nature isn't exactly helping.
There's no rain in the forecast for the next 7 days. The humidity is very low, and we're going to continue occasionally to get gusty winds, and that's what's just making this so difficult for these firefighters to fight.
While it looked like progress was being made earlier in the weekend, containment moments ago has been downgraded below 10%. An investigation is underway following a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. State police say a man showed up at a hospital last night in Aurora, claiming he was shot while driving along I-290 and Manheim Road. Chicago police say a man and woman from suburban Minneapolis falsely claimed they were robbed at knife point of a $12,000 engagement ring and other items. The couple, both 27, each face now a felony charge of disorderly conduct after admitting they made up the story. Bears over the Bengals 33-7. Blackhawks beat the Coyotes 3-1, and the Bulls take on the Celtics tonight. The news, a service of Panera Bread, family, friends. They'll like whatever you get them, but this holiday, why not get them something they'll love? A Panera Bread gift card. For every $50 in gift cards purchased, get a $10 bonus card for yourself. Visit your local bakery cafe for more details. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:36. Let's get a check on that morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Like in Yorkville, there's a major crash which has 47 closed. Cleanup Road and Cornales Road, there's a major crash, and there is a Flight for Life helicopter at the scene. Edens runs 21 minutes from Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 30. Got Kennedy. Delays start at Central, 56 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 43 from Montrose, 35 in the Express. Outbound 47 minutes to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 37 from Manheim. Outbound 45 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 54 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. Tri-State delays are northbound from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan to North Avenue. Southbound 53, a bit tight, Palatine to Kirchhoff. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Bit of snow crossing the area right now. Heavier snow showers by this afternoon and a high near 38. Currently 29. Your next news update is at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We want to kind of infuse our show this holiday season with some ideas to make your holiday more enjoyable. We talked about the ambiance models that may show up at your holiday party. You want to be able to pick them out of a crowd.
That's how Mike Scott got his career in the biz.
No question.
He wouldn't have made it here as a newsman. Had he not been an ambiance model beforehand?
There's also this stocking stuffer if you're kind of beset with uncertainty about what to get your loved ones.
Yeah. Oh, what are you getting me, by the way?
Well, for the identity politics bot in your life, Rachel Dolezal. Remember Rachel Dolezal? Yeah. She was the Black Not Black head of the NAACP, one of the NAACP chapters in Washington State before she was discovered she was white, and she is commercializing her status as a alleged black woman.
Seriously?
Yeah. She's selling calendars, Rachel Dolezal calendars.
No way.
Yeah, with her striking poses and associated with inspirational quotes that she came up with. Dozens of important birthdays and Black history facts throughout the year this white chick is offering in her calendar. Also, for example, stay woke and ready to change the world. You'll never know when an important opportunity will arise. Okay. For April, Dolezal urges people not to give up, give in, compromise, or quit. Rest a little and take a breath, then stand up, raise your chin, and press on. I mean, this is fantastic stuff.
I'm so moved.
This will enhance your collection of melanin spectrum dolls and Gimme Some Sugar Lollipops, which Dolezal made available for purchase in November. The dolls, representing a broad range of different skin tones, the melanin spectrum dolls, are just $75 for a group of 4.
Her calendar's out of stock.
Well,
sold out.
Yeah.
$18.99.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, that's why we get.
Right.
I mean, you've got a few weeks till Christmas. Yeah, that's why I wanted to alert you to this, so you can stock up on the Dolezal merchandise
Yeah, her dreads are getting way out of control.
in time. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
actually, this isn't bad, but I'm sure it was photoshopped, right? The calendar. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if.
Have you seen some?
I don't know if Dave Weigel was enlisted to do the artwork for the calendar. Dave Weigel, of course, the Washington Post reporter, who had apologized this weekend after CNN retract their latest Russian propaganda story. Dave Weigel from the Washington Post had been previously fired by the Washington Post as a blogger for making derogatory comments about Rush and Matt Drudge and other conservatives, even though he was allegedly a center-right blogger for the Washington Post. He was fired. Now he's back some 7 years later, and he tweeted out a picture of the Trump rally in Pensacola, but it was a rally. It was a picture of the rally space hours before the event actually occurred, so it was empty, and Weigel was trying to indicate that there was nobody showed up for the Trump rally.
Right, and he tweeted out "packed to the rafters" in quote unquote. You know, like Trump's alleging that it was sold out. Well, it was packed to the rafters, but he fictitiously took the picture before people were still being, all the people were let in. People had to go through screening to get in to this event.
Yeah.
And the lines were wrapped around the building.
So, so that was the least offensive of the week that was in the Gang of 500, the D.C. press court. You had ABC News suspend Brian Ross over misreporting about Trump and Flynn after Flynn's plea agreement was announced. You had Reuters have to retract a story that Mueller had subpoenaed Trump bank records. That didn't happen. You have CNN have to retract this story about Trump Jr. getting access to phished or hacked emails that WikiLeaks posted, but they got the date wrong. So the date that actually is relevant to the release of those emails, they were already publicly available before Trump Jr. got them, right? So I mean,
Right.
it's a non-event. So you have that. Glenn Greenwald in TheIntercept.com has a good piece about the state of the D.C. press corps. The U.S. media suffered its most humiliating debacle in ages, now refuses all transparency over what happened. And he's talking about this CNN story, where CNN reported the story, to continue to try and prop up the Russian collusion narrative, and then had to tweet out this. CNN's initial reporting of the date on an email sent out to members of the Trump campaign about WikiLeaks documents, which was confirmed by two sources, was incorrect. We have updated our story to include the correct date and present the proper context for the timing of the email. Well, when you include the correct date about when Trump campaign, the Trump campaign sent an email out with WikiLeaks documents, it was after the WikiLeaks documents were made public. So it's a complete non-story. And this follows on CNN's misreporting, fictional reporting previously, whether it's Gloria Borger saying, I know from unnamed sources, Reince Priebus is not being pushed out. The Russian investment story that was tied to the Trump people and Scaramucci, which resulted in the firing of 3 CNN reporters. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Molly Hemingway on this story over in the Federalist asking 18 questions of CNN, none of which she'll get answers to, but among the good ones. Does CNN believe it's ethical to write about a document and not let readers and viewers know up front that reporters and editors haven't seen the document? They wrote about the document
That they never saw.
Well,
then they should out their sources, because their sources are either, I don't know who's lying here, the reporters or the sources.
Yeah. Well, CNN is
Because
not.
they could be getting played by the source.
CNN not disciplining any of the reporters associated with this recent.
Sure, they're on to their next assignment, Dan.
Right, because they followed editorial processes. And then Brian Stelter, that egghead at CNN, the media critic at CNN.
You love him. You want a Brian Stelter bobblehead
I mean,
doll for
honestly,
Christmas.
he says the fact that the media is getting it wrong proves they're doing it right. This is like Joe Biden saying you have to keep spending money to stop from going bankrupt. This is the Newspeak. This is, I guess, the best that CNN can muster as a defense for their continued unprofessionalism and naked political advocacy in sans any evidence. But that's exactly right. Now, they're not getting disciplined, but they have been kicked out of the Oprah Book Club.
Oh, okay.
Just like James Fry, remember Million Little Pieces or whatever his book was.
Oh, that's right.
So, my main problem with all these stories, whether it's Dave Weigel at Washington Post or the CNN team, is they're just not very good fiction writers. I mean, I like good fiction. So, if we're going to do fiction, let's bring back Jason Blair, formerly of the New York Times. Let's bring back Stephen Glass, formerly of New Republic, and let these good fiction writers, produce the left-wing propaganda, the left-wing agitprop for CNN and the other DC outlets. I mean, I just, let's at least up the quality, you know what I mean? Steve on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, it just, if anything, the hypocrisy is blaring. I mean, if nothing, all the stuff that the media is doing meets the definition of collusion. Has anybody looked to see when it meets the legal definition of sedition? I mean, they're trying to take down a sitting U.S. president. And I just, it's disgusting what they're doing.
Thanks for the call, Steve. I mean, look, the media can be as aggressive as it wants. It doesn't bother me, but they're just so uninterested in the truth. They take anything that will paint Trump in a bad light and they run with it without doing their jobs.
Because it's a headline grabber. It is.
Yeah, but so's the retraction. The retraction turns out to be a headline grabber too, and you just it's funny. I mean, they couldn't be a better foil for Trump the way that they're conducting themselves.
And now I don't even know. CNN right now is reporting that the person who strapped a bomb to themselves, 27 years old, originally from Bangladesh, and has lived in the United States for 7 years with an address in Brooklyn. Now, Now I have to double check what CNN is saying and compare it with NBC News.
And then who are you going to NBC News?
And that's true.
The home of Brian Williams, and who are you going to compare that with?
Okay, all right.
I mean, seriously.
But they're all reporting
Yes.
on ABC that he's a 27-year-old.
Well, you're getting it right from the horse's mouth with this briefing that's being done in New York City. We'll continue to keep you updated on that. Michael in New Lenox, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. In the context of the tax return thing with Rachel Maddow and how that completely backfired, do you guys think there's any chance that Trump and his team are smart enough to have this be a setup, that CNN thought they had gold sources on the inside of Trump that had this leak, and now they're embarrassed to be transparent about it? Do you think, is there any chance that that's going on here?
Yeah, kind of taking a page out of the Russians' book and sending misinformation to CNN. I don't know.
Yeah, basically giving them some false information and then watching them stumble over it. What we've seen time and time again is every time they think they have a story, it turns out to not be a story. It's happening so often, and these people are not, they're pros. I will give them credit. They are professional reporters, so it's kind of befuddling that they would lead like that and then make such an obvious mistake. It makes me think that they thought they had a really good source, one they could trust, and then they get the rug pulled. What did the one guy say? It's like Lucy with a football.
Yeah, well, I mean, but so thanks for the call, Michael. And so that's the point. So if you got burned by your sources, if they lied to you, why not disclose them?
I would.
And
I'd be so upset at them that I'd call them out.
And if not
in very social media at the least.
If not, at least answer the question why you won't. Why you won't? And answer and other questions posed by Molly Hemingway. A bunch of good ones. Will CNN use these sources in the future? If so, why? If not, how can readers be sure they're not used as future sources? It's the same thing we're talking about with the Mueller investigation. Who watches the Watchmen? Who reports on the reporters? When you continue to get stories wrong that have serious implications that you promote as bombshells, then you have a public accounting that should be required. I mean, certainly if you want to maintain any credibility. And if they don't want to answer questions, if they don't want to provide more disclosure than just saying editorial processes were followed and we retract because we got burned by the source, if that's all they want to say on it, well, then you shouldn't believe a word that is broadcast from CNN because they don't have the respect for you to fully disclose how they got it so wrong, how they couldn't fact check and corroborate something as simple as an instrumental with respect to this particular story as a date of transmission for the alleged information, for the relevant information. James in Westmont.
Good morning, you two. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank
you. I'm sad to report that the Rachel Dolezal calendar is sold out. So I guess the 6 people who wanted it bought them all. So
yeah. Well, hopefully she can go to
bring back my calendar.
Thanks, James. Hopefully she can go to Kinko's and print more. Does Kinko still exist?
Yeah.
Sean in Elmwood Park.
FedEx Kinko's.
You know, Prof, I have to tell you, we can only hope the guy from Bangladesh hid the pipe bomb in his underpants like that other buffoon who blew his genitals off, so we can give him the big ha-ha. So, and I have to, the Dan Proft rule of keep talking dummy not only works for CNN, it works for all of these imbeciles, left, right, and center. And when you're doing the show, Proft, I like to recap it and hear it. But I have to say, whether it's Peter Rostam selling this pig with lipstick, this tax bill, whether it's the Roy Moore and the callers who try to do the raging bull, she didn't look 14, Your Honor, or you know, pick a topic where they just keep selling this, or Bruce Rauner going head to head with a woman of character and substance and fundamentals like Jeannie Ives. I am telling you, Prof, like I told you about Bitcoin, the Republican Party is no more. It has less than a decade. Less than a decade, and I will prove to evidence to you when I called that other buffoon Brady, and I was complaining about his new agenda, and he said, well, you got to support Bruce Rauner, whether it's Durkin or Brady. These Republicans are done. Done. There will be a rise of an originalist party, and the Republican Party will morph into the Democrat Party. It will be no more. What do you say? You want to bet a Bitcoin, Prof?
That's outside my price range at this point. Thanks, Sean.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Tom Kaloran Photography is ready to memorialize your office holiday party with photos that come to life and bring your team together. From large group photos to individual portraits, wallet size to panoramic, your photos can even be printed on location as a take-home keepsake for your party guests. Whether it's a formal dinner or company potluck, Tom Kaloran Photography can create the right feel for your event. They did the photography for AM 560's Freedom Summit 2017, and the finished product was amazing. And here's an idea of just one more thing to make the holidays stress-free. Hire Tom Kaloran Photography for your family's annual Christmas get-together. You won't have to worry about taking pictures with everyone's phone or the hassle of getting everyone's email addresses to share photos with the family. With Tom Kaloran Photography, you'll have pictures with all the generations together in one place and can send every relative home with their own memory to hold on to forever. Call 708-361-0025 or visit KaloranPhotography.com. KILLORAN photography.com.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning. In this show, long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers in our Against the Current series. 60 Seconds of Sanity from yours truly. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Get a free property tax report on your home so you see what the highest property taxes in the nation are doing to your home value. And also you can download a petition to help us get an advisory question on the 2018 ballot that would reform Illinois' property tax system to mirror Indiana's, returning your home equity to you in the process. That's at defendhomeowners.com, all the property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Where did I put that wrench? I know I have the right size screwdriver in here somewhere. This garage is a mess. Trouble finding your tools? Time to get organized with StoreLock, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. And it's 100% made in the USA, close by in Kankakee, with a 55-year unconditional guarantee. StoreLock is a modular, durable storage system with dividers, liners, and layouts, all made to order exactly how you want it. Each drawer holds up to 400 pounds and is powder-coated in-house with any color you want. And it's fully assembled when it ships. You'll get organized fast. StoreLock can handle any size room or facility. They can do systems for airline hangars to fire departments to modular workstations for your shop. Anywhere and everywhere you need quality storage that will last a lifetime at a factory direct price. It's time to get your home, garage, or business organized. Call Mike the owner personally at 1-800-786-7562. That's 1-800-STORLOC. Or go to StoreLock.com. That's StoreLock.com.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. And it's about to get worse. The IRS just hired an army of new tax enforcers. So, if you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop that army of new enforcers from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Why put an alarm system in your home? How about experiencing the peace of mind that comes from knowing everything that is important to you is watched over and protected even when you can't be there? Alarm Detection Systems has the reputation, experience, and personnel to provide the best security services for all kinds of properties. Alarm Detection Systems is family-owned. Our number is local, and a live person always answers when you call. Your account will be monitored right here in Illinois, not 5 states away. If you already have a system and you're experiencing poor customer service, long wait times on the phone, or hidden fees from your current company, then make the switch now to Alarm Detection Systems. We carry the latest technology, including app control from multiple devices. Alarm Detection Systems even provides service and repair coverage on weekends and holidays. We want to earn your business, so our on-site consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Dan and Amy, we're nearing our goal in our 2017 Food for the Poor campaign to feed 3,000 children for a year, provide water for life, 3,000 children in Haiti and Guatemala, thanks to the donor leadership from our business community and so many generous individual donors as well, Amy.
Yeah, we really need your help. We want to hit our goal of providing food for a year and water for life for 3,000 children. And we're so close. These kids don't want any toys for Christmas, or they just want food and water. So if you can help out, it would be great. If you're a business owner, if you make the marketing decisions for your company, listen up. Our business benefactor program, I know we've been talking about it, but you want to get in on this. This is the best station to advertise on right now. We're hot, we're happening, and it's the best deal in broadcasting. $2,500. It's tax deductible. The money goes to Food for the Poor, and we will give you 40 one-minute commercials. Call Michael Mann right now, 847-871-1527, or visit 560theanswer.com. Search for the keyword food and hook up with Michael Mann and help people that are less fortunate this holiday season. Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, our associate producer, Quinn McCarthy, and Kevin McCarthy. And of
the
course,
Orland Park Police Chief?